Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So we know that if we are preparing for any competitive exam including RBI Grade B, previous year papers play a very important role. They help us to understand trend, pattern and difficulty level with respect to that examination. And as a part of this video, we are going to discuss previous year questions from 2021 to 2024 for the component of finance and management. And we are going to discuss it in a detailed manner. We are going to see the question, why that question was asked and a detailed explanation also, right? So also sort of things we are going to see one by one as a part of this video. But before we do that, just a small announcement. So basically, if you are somebody who is preparing for RBI Grade B examination and you want to know that how EduTap can help you as a part of your preparation. So as you can see it over here, that basically we provide different types of courses. For example, the gold and the silver course is there. Gold course is for those students who want to have access to both phase 1 as well as phase 2 content along with the interview guidance. But if you talk about the silver course, then this one provides the phase 2 content only along with the interview, right? And these are the type of components that we are going to provide you as a part of it. Apart from that, we have the live crash course also, which is going on. You can go for this course also if you want to have access to live classes, right? And of course, the recorded version of this live classes will also be available. And apart from that, we have the test series also. So if you want to have chapter wise test, sectional test, full length test along with detailed explanations and evaluations also, what you can do, you can go for the test series course also, right? So for rest of the details, you can go to a website which is nothing but edutab.in. So now we are done with this, and now let us begin with the video and let us discuss the PYQs one by one.
Then this particular video is for all of you. Try to understand the new type of questions which was seen in RBI Grade B 2024 FM. First we will solve 2-marker questions, then 1-marker questions, and then we will move ahead to descriptive questions as well. So I will put my pen on and I will start solving with you. Now make sure that in 2024 there were no easy and direct questions which we have seen in the 2 markers. Okay, so first question which you see on your screen is a typical RC based question. RC basically means what? Reading comprehension. Now I totally understand that if you see this particular question right now, it's an easy question for you. It's an easy question. But if you see the same question in the examination hall, it will become tough. Why? Because in the examination hall, you have that pressure of the clock running on your head and you have to solve questions very quickly. Right? But still, if you maintain your calm, this question is doable. Try to read it with me. Now, this question tells you regarding organizational culture. Culture profoundly shapes the individual behavior, influencing attitude, perceptions, interaction with the society. Over the time, theories have emerged to understand how culture norms impact personal development and social behavior. Likewise, you have to read this entire, I would say, paragraph. Now I can read it for you, but I will allow you I will tell you to pause this particular video, read this particular part of the component or of the question, and then we will move ahead. So you can pause it right now, read the question, or rather read the paragraph rather, and then we will move to the question. Okay, so I hope you would have done this particular task. For example, there is a theory which is mentioned in this particular question. Then if you see in the next particular passage, what is the importance of organizational culture, that is also mentioned, and how organizational culture impacts your workplace, that is also mentioned. So a beautiful passage related to organizational culture was given to you, and by no means I am saying that this is an easy question. By no means I am saying that this is an easy question. Okay, right now it can become easy for you, but think about those students who are sitting in the examination hall. If such question comes in FM also, then definitely the scoring rate in FM will fall. Now let's try to solve the question, and there was one more paragraph which was added. So if you see, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 questions are there. Sorry, 5 paragraphs are there. 5 paragraphs to read will take definitely your time. Right, now let's try to answer all the questions. The passage mentions that they have expanded beyond the original development in Russia. The passage mentions theories that have expanded beyond their original development in Russia. Which theory they are referring to? Now even if you read this particular paragraph, in this second paragraph itself, there is a mention of Vygotsky theory. Now if you see, the answer of this particular question was Vygotsky only. So if you see, the questions are easy, they are RC based. RC we have done in your English component as well, but in the examination hall these questions will seem tough to you because you have multiple pressure on you. So it's better to stay calm and try to solve these questions. Okay, and see, no course can teach you how to answer these questions because these are common sense based questions. Okay. Next, which factor does not significantly affect the organizational culture? Now again, you have to read the paragraphs which are given to you, and if you see, there are multiple paragraphs which are mentioned. However, certain factors are less flexible. For example, biological factors are largely inherent. They do not play a significant role in cultural setting. So here is your answer number 2. Here is your answer number 2. Now you just have to go and check over here which of the factor does not significantly affect the organizational culture. The answer over here will be biological factors. Yes, you might think that this is an easy question. Now why I am repeating this? Do not take this particular notion that this is an easy question. Right now it is looking easy, but in the examination it can become tough for you. Right now I'm repeating this thing for the third time so that it can go in your brain. Next question. Okay, what tool does the company mention in the passage offer to the organization? Which particular tool has been mentioned? Now if you read the whole passage again, the company mentions about some survey tools, because I have read this particular passage and we have made this passage by talking to like 100 to 120 students who have appeared for phase 2. Okay, so we talked to the student, then verified from the other student, and it is not like the exactly the same paragraph which has appeared in the exam, but it is based on the same theme. Now if you see, the answer of this particular question will be survey, because it is clearly mentioned one such company offers a survey tool designed for organizations seeking inputs into employees in alignment with the company values and satisfaction. So literally speaking, you can directly answer this particular question by reading the passage, but if you don't read the passage, then definitely it will be tough for you. So the answer over here will be option number B, which is your survey tool. So till now the questions which we have seen, they are directly traceable from the passage. They are directly traceable from the passage, therefore you can term them easy, but again they are not easy once you are sitting in the examination hall. Right. According to the passage, organization focusing on the cultural assessment may observe improvement in what? If you observe the passage, you will come to know that if you apply the principle of organizational cultures, the passage mentions that there will be focusing on these factors reports that communication across department and region improves. So your interdepartmental communication will surely improve if you follow the principles which are mentioned in the passage. So right now the answer over here will be interdepartmental communication. Okay, next thing, let's move to the next one. So if you see this particular passage, which have 5 individual paragraphs, have given you 4 questions, and these are 2 markers. So 4 into 2 is 8. So if you remain calm in your exam, if you know that this passage is nothing, this is just an RC based question, you could have got 8 marks. But again, whatever students have done, whatever the toppers of this year are, a commendable job to all of you, because even if as such question comes in your exam, it takes a kind of a, I would say what, a call that whether you have to attempt or not attempt, right? So now let's move to the next set of questions. So we have done 4 questions till now, right? Now let's come to the next question. Read the below passage and answer the following questions. Now over here the passage is small. Over here the passage is small, like you can see only 3 paragraphs are given to you, but this particular passage is based on current affairs, which we generally say finance current affairs, which is taken by Kritika ma'am in your course or also on the YouTube as well, right? So the passage mentions about some initiative which was taken by SEBI so that investors can apply in, you know, securities market. Now, what is the maximum subscription amount under which the investors are required to be designated under the fund blocking method? So if you know that SEBI has released a circular related to, I would say what, public issue of debt securities. So if you want to subscribe to any debt security, I hope you know what is debt security, any security which offers you the benefits of a debt which is borrowing. So under that, SEBI has mandated that you can block up to 5 lakh of rupees only. You can block only 5 lakhs of rupees. So over here definitely the answer will be option number E. Now according to me, this is a current affairs based question. If you have covered the current affairs, then this is a moderate question for you. If not, then definitely it will become tough for you. Okay, so this question was covered in our course, and it was covered in current affairs current tab from 1st to 30th of September. Now this is not that old. Your exam took place in the month of, I would say, post September if I'm not wrong, and this question is of September only. So if you cover the current affairs of 5 to 6 months for phase 2, you are on the good track. Next, Which method must be used to block funds for certain debt securities subscription? We all know that SEBI, RBI, and they all are promoting UPI, Unified Payment Interface. So the correct answer over here was option number D. Now there are, if I'm not wrong, 4 to 5 questions which are based on the single, I would say, notification which was released by SEBI. So notifications which are released by SEBI or by RBI are definitely important, but you don't have to do all the notifications which are released by SEBI. Focus on only those notifications which are directly relatable to your syllabus. For example, UPI. UPI can directly be traced to chapter of digital payment system. Right? It can also be in the role of IT. Right? UPI also plays a role in financial inclusion. So UPI is like evergreen topic which RBI can ask you, like PSL. PSL is also an evergreen topic. Right? Moving forward. So the answer over here was UPI, which is option number D. Next question related to, again, these are the same SEBI guidelines which were beautifully covered in our course. Which organization has introduced these updated guidelines for debt securities? We all know the answer will be SEBI. Okay, it will not be RBI, rather the answer was SEBI. SEBI is a primary regulator, or is the front, I would say is the main regulator for your securities market. And in securities market, you have debt securities and equity securities. Okay, so make sure you understand what is the role of SEBI and what is the role of RBI too. And to understand the role of SEBI, we have a different dedicated chapter in your course as well, which is financial institutions. In financial institutions, you understand the role of regulators also. Right? So I will not say that this question is out of the syllabus. It's very in the syllabus only. Okay? Moving forward to the next question, which is question number 8. Now, according to me, this question is tough because generally when we are reading the guidelines, we only see the main points and we skip certain dates. When will the newly implemented guideline for debt security subscription will take effect? The answer will be 1st November 2024. Now, this is a factual question. There is nothing to explain over here. I am just telling you the question and the answer associated to it. Now, if you just want to practice questions, you can go on EduTab website, or you can take the course as well. For example, test series course, which has multiple questions. Okay. Moving forward. Now, this is where I would say your question number 8 gets completed. So if I am not wrong, there are 4 questions which are asked on the SEBI notification which was mandated for UPI for debt securities. Okay. Now, if you are good in current affairs, I think you would have solved 3 out of 4 questions, bearing this one, which is the date one. Okay. Moving forward to the 9th one. Now, again, you have a certain, I would say, question which is talking about some kinds of banks. In 2014, Reserve Bank of India introduced new categories of bank. Now, if you see in 2014, Nakichet More Committee introduced the 2 type of banks, payment and your small finance banks. But over here, if you are confused between payment bank and small finance banks, you have to read further. These institutions were established to improve financial services in rural and semi-urban areas where the traditional banking infrastructure is limited. These banks provide credit. Now, once you see the credit, definitely it will be small finance bank, because your payment banks cannot lend. They can only accept deposits up to what particular amount of money? 2 lakhs of rupees. Right? But they cannot lend any amount of money. So definitely the answer will be savings, your small finance bank only. Okay, it won't be your payment banks. I hope समझ में आ रहा होगा, because if you know what is Nakichet More Committee, then only you will be able to answer this question. Otherwise, it's a bouncer for you. Okay, now they play a vital role in connecting unreserved regions. Traditionally, these institutes emphasizes on building strong relationship with local communities as well. Okay, so now we know that the passage is talking regarding small finance banks, so we can answer all the questions which are related to it. Identify the type of a bank which is described. It cannot be regional rural bank, because regional rural bank act is of very old, if I'm not wrong, 1976, but still I'm not that much sure. You can check it. But RRB cannot be introduced in 2014. Microfinance bank, microfinance institutions are there which act as an NBFC. We don't have any microfinance banks per se. Cooperative banks, again very old. When it comes to small finance bank and payment banks, yes, these can be the 2 probable answers, but the correct answer will be small finance bank, because they can lend, and it is clearly mentioned in the second passage. These banks provide credit. Credit means what? To provide loans. Okay, payment banks cannot provide you credit at this particular junction. They can only accept deposits up to 2 lakh of rupees. Right? Moving forward to the next question, which was asked in this particular domain only, and yes, this question was also covered in our course, there is a chapter of FM static, which we call it as banking and financial system. It's a big chapter because we have to cover all the different types of financial institutions. Now, what is the primary aim of bank prescribed in the message? So in the passage only, if you see, this is an RC based question. So if you go and read the passage, specifically passage number 2 and passage number 3, you will come to know that the main goal of small finance bank is to provide credit or is to provide services to small entrepreneurs and local income households, right? And even if you see, this question is based on RC. This question is based on RC. What is the primary aim of bank's message in the passage? It is of serving financial needs of undeserved population. So if you see question number 10 and 11, 10 and 11 can directly be traced to the passage which we have just now finished. So even if you just identify that this is a small finance bank and multiple functions of this bank is mentioned in this particular passage, इसी passage में answers छुपे हुए हैं. Okay, so this is the first learning which you should draw, that in 2024 the new type of question which we have seen is RC based questions, which are easy, but if you panic in your exam it will become tough. Okay, so this is question number 11 we have also done, that is small entrepreneurs and local income households, right? Now moving ahead, in addition to providing financial services, these banks also contribute by doing what? So even again you have to just go back to the passage and you will come to know that they promote financial literacy among undeserved community. It is clearly mentioned over here, like they promote, they talk to communities, and this model also support financial literacy among clients, right? So even if you just answer that this is a small finance bank and rest all the topics or rest all the answers are related to the passage itself. So again, the passage tells you that what are the answers, so you just have to stay calm and you just have to answer the questions. Now make sure, my friend, this question was duly covered in EduTap course in the chapter of banking and financial system. Okay, moving forward to the next question, which is your world management survey. Now this question is again based on passage, right? This question is again based on passage. Over here what we are seeing over here is again a different type of passage which is comparatively smaller than the organizational culture. Organizational culture has 5 paragraphs. Over here you have 4. So the world management survey developed research including Rafael Stadon focuses on analyzing and enhancing management practices across various industries. Management practice such as performance tracking, goal setting, employees incentivization are fundamental for organizational success. One of the survey's tools allows the organization to measure effectiveness of their management practices. Introducing these practices can be challenging, and if you practice this, then definitely you will foster the culture that supports sustainable growth and organizational success. So again, what I will do is I will request you to pause this particular video, read this particular passage and try to understand that what passage is saying, and then definitely we will try to answer the questions that follow. Okay, so pause this particular video, try to read the passage. I will zoom it a bit if you want, but try to read it by pausing the video. Now let's start by solving question number 13. Based on the passage, which type of practices are practiced by the are integral to the organizational success? So which type of practices are integral? Again, you have to see the passage only, then only you can answer, right? There are multiple practices. There are goal setting, employees incentivization, fundamental for this. Study shows that well-managed companies experience greater productivity. One survey tool objectively offering comprehensive framework. This tool have specific indicators to evaluate like operational efficiency and resource. So you have to read it and then only you will come to know that the answer will be management practices. It is clearly mentioned in the first paragraph itself. Management practices are very much core to the company's operation, right? It is written over here that it is management practices, and then they have given you some examples as well, right? So again, you have to use your logic. Logic basically is to read the RC and then answer. Why managers might resist in engaging in training programs? So if you see why managers resist in engaging in training programs, managers often hesitate to undertake extensive training due to concerns that new knowledge or process that may increase their workload or even diminish their roles through automative advancements. So if you see, the answer of this particular question will be option number B, concerns of increasing workload and responsibility. Now again, one disclaimer, I am not saying that these are the exact questions, but they are like memory based questions which you can see. Okay, as per the developed tool mentioned in the passage, how can companies measure effectiveness of the management practices? Now, if you have to measure the effectiveness, again you have to read the passage over here, right? You can see that effective implementation is this, and now they are by regulatory evaluating these matrices. So you have to just read the passage and then you will be able to answer through framework of operational efficiency and innovation. Clearly, if you see passage number 3 and passage number 4 talks about it, right? You have to make improvements in the workplaces. Improvements in the workplaces is basically a component of innovation only, right? So basic fundamental, even if you are not able to find the correct or the similar word, try to identify the most common theme then. Okay, contrary to the common assumptions about management practices, the passage suggests that the effective implementation is what? Effective implementation is definitely complicated, but it requires efforts also. Passage number 4 talks about it. So therefore your answer of question number 16 will be option number C. More complicated than anticipated but manageable with right approach. This is what paragraph number 4 is talking to you. Okay, so overall if you see the passage of organizational culture and this particular passage of management practices is totally a new type of question which RBI is introducing in the FM paper. Now it can continue for 2025 as well or 26 as well, but we have added a separate courses or a separate quiz in your course which will allow you to practice such type of questions. Okay, moving forward to the next question, and this question according to me is the toughest question, but it is still doable. Like, I mean, some questions are doable, not all. So this question talks you regarding the planetary boundaries. Now yes, planetary boundaries and your environmental stuff you read in ESI, but they are asking you a question over here, so you cannot say no to them, you have to answer it, right? So Earth natural system have shown the sign of distress with studies on planetary boundaries, underscoring how human activities impact ecological limits. Likewise, they have added one paragraph, second paragraph, and the 3 and the 4th paragraph as well. So there are total of 4 paragraphs which they have added in the passage of planetary boundaries. Now definitely this question looks tough to me because first of all I am not able to see any chapter of FM related to planetary boundaries. Okay, chapters of ESI are surely related over here, but still you have to answer it. But to answer such questions you have to understand first of all the passage and then only move ahead. So this year the paper was lengthy also because we have seen multiple, I would say, what paragraph based questions, right? We have seen till what, like this is the 5th paragraph based question which we are solving, right? Moreover, paragraphs are lengthy. Moreover, paragraphs are kind of boring to read as well. Okay, because management is boring, we all accept it. Okay, but for me it is interesting, but for students generally say that it's boring. Now, as per the cited report on planetary boundaries, humans have caused the boundaries in which particular sector? In fresh water and environmental pollutants. Now, this answer you cannot directly relate to the passage. You cannot directly relate to the passage. You will have to read the report which was of planetary boundaries. You have to read this particular report, then only you can mention it. Then only you can, answer it. But even if you read the passage, you can get a slightest idea that what the question is speaking. But you don't have this much of time in the exam because you just have 30 minutes to answer 20 objective questions, right? 22 marker questions, and then you have 10 marker, then you have 1 markers also. I hope you know that you have 30 minutes to solve, I would say, 30 objective questions, and in this 20 are 2 markers and 10 questions are 1 markers. Therefore the total objective of objective is 50, right? I hope you are able to understand what I am saying. So you don't have this much of time to understand what the passage is saying, and then you have to draw out its implication also. Consequently, to tackle environmental boundaries breaches, what initiative has been taken? Circular economy was the correct answer. Again, you can read from the passage. If you are able to deduce your answer from the passage, it's good. Otherwise, you have to read this particular report and then only answer this particular question. But again, my friends, the topper of any exams do not solve all the questions, right? Topper solves majority of the questions with full accuracy or with 90 to 95% of accuracy. So make sure that you do not have this any kind of tension in you that how will I read such reports. You are bound to leave certain questions in the exam. 2-3 क्वेश्चन तो छोड़ने ही पड़ेंगे because paper setter is testing your I would say what presence of mind also, right? So make sure that you go in the exam to solve majority of the questions with full accuracy or 90% of accuracy, right? So if I was on your place, I would have surely left question 17 and 18, because even if you read the passage, you are not able to understand what the passage is first of all saying, because this is a kind of a fifth passage which we are seeing. Moreover, it's a kind of a complicated passage. Moreover, directly traceable answers are not here, right? But the next question, what preceded sustainable development goals? Now, this knowledge is based on your static knowledge. Even if you know Millennium Development Goals were there and then came your SDGs, right? SDGs came from the year 2015 onwards, right? Before that, MDGs were there. So I would have done this question, because even if I don't know the paragraph, what paragraph is saying, I could have answered this. That is Millennium Development Goals, right? So according to me, this question was doable. Rest you could skip in this particular set. Next question from this particular set, which is the last one. The goal of Millennium Development Goals range from what? The goals of Millennium Development Goals. Now, frankly speaking, I know that SDGs, because SDGs we have covered in ESI, but we have not covered MDGs. We just know that MDGs were there and then your SDGs came. But what was MDGs and how many targets and how many indicators they have, that I think we all don't remember right now. So I would have skipped this particular question too, but if you want to attempt, you can attempt. The correct answer will be halving the global poverty to tackle HIV related targets. Now for SDGs, we all know, right? There are 17 SDGs. They have some 231 indicators if I'm not wrong. They have 169 goals if I'm not wrong. You can check this particular knowledge on Google as well. But at the end of the day, this is what the best of my knowledge is speaking. I can be incorrect also. But at the end of the day, I don't have any specific relation or specific knowledge to MDGs. Therefore, I will skip this particular question. Rest questions are doable. Right? So this is where our 20 questions of 2 markers are completed. We have completed 20 questions of 2 marker. Now let's come to the 1 marker questions. Now the first question in 1 marker is related to motivational theories. By how much person values the outcome? We all know that you have Victor Vroom, expectancy theory, instrumentality, expectancy and valency, right? Multiply them, you will get your motivational force. So answer over here will be your expectancy theory, because the question is asking you regarding the valency, how much you value your rewards. Answer me in the comment section that what are different probable values of valency. Can valency be 0.2 or it can be, what is the range? You just have to let me know in the comment box. Okay, so this question I am writing at easy. You should not skip this questions. Next question, yes, this was covered in our course as well. Next, what is the regulatory limit for investment in small and medium real estate investment trust? Factual question based on current affairs. The correct answer will be 50 crores. Okay, and this was covered by Kritika ma'am in the current affairs as well, that what is medium real estate investment trust, SM REIT. Okay, so you have 50 crores as the minimum, and maximum over here it is 500 crores. Cool. Next, what are the means and ways and mean advances limit for the second half of fiscal 25? Again, based on current affairs, even if you read budgets, even if you read budget related news, fiscal policy related news, you could have answered this question. Again, based on current affairs. So answer over here will be option number D, which is 50,000 crore. Now all these current affairs falls in the ambit of 6 months only. Even if you see this question, okay, current affairs of August 2024, then you have September 2024, right? You have current affair covered in September. So these are not old. If I was on your place, I would have covered at least 6 months of current affairs, and if you do it, definitely these questions are easy for me. Next question. In Johari windows, we all know Johari windows has 4 quadrant. Which quadrant represents the part which is known to individuals? I know it, but I am hiding from others. So that is basically known as your hidden quadrant. You have open facade, right? Then you have hidden, then you have unknown, and like that you have multiple quadrants. A total are 4 over here, right? So definitely the answer will be hidden quadrant, and it was given by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham. Very popular names when it comes to management. Cool. So this is where the answer of option number question 24 is C. According to me, this is again easy for me, right? Coming to the next question. Who developed managerial grit, a framework for analyzing leadership styles? This is the most halwa question according to me. Okay, Blake and Mountain managerial grid. We all know they have given you 5 types of leadership. You have your evade and elude, task management, middle in the road, team manager, and task, and your people oriented, which is your kind of country club manager, right? So Blake and Mountain has given you leadership grid as well. They have also, like, many people have contributed to the extended managerial grid also. Can you let me know in extended managerial grid how many leadership styles were introduced? Okay, question number 25 B, correct answer, very easy. Moving forward to question number 26. In which communication structure does the person communicate with one on the either side but not with anyone else? So you communicate either to your left, either to your right. One on the either side मतलब क्या हुआ? One on the either side basically means either I am communicating to my right or to my left. So that happens in your circle only. It is like adjoining. It is like adjoining. Cool. So according to me, this is also an easy question. You should have done it in your exams as well. Moving forward, and all such questions are covered in our course as well. You can see the snippets just for a proof purpose. Which management approach emphasizes managing transitions and guiding organization through change? Organizational change, very beautiful chapter in which Kurt Lewin has contributed one particular theory of change. We all know it, right? But over here they're asking you different transformational management, transitional, situational, adaptive, or contingency management. You are focusing on transition and guiding through the change. So the correct answer will be transitional management. Transitional management means that we are adapting the change so that there can be smooth implementation. It can be a moderate question because it's not a typical theory which we teach, but still if you apply your common sense you could have done it, right? Moving forward to question number 28. UPI circle was very much in news, right? It is based on your current affairs of, I would say, August month only, so it's an easy question. There are 5 secondary users, we all know, right? Secondary users in UPI circle is 5 only. So the answer of this particular question is option number D. I would term this as easy, not even as moderate, because this is very easy question to do. Question number 29. In the settlement timeline of debt securities and non-convertible bonds were reduced from T plus 6 to which of the following? Now this question has been taken from your RBI annual report of 2023-24. Now I will write it as moderate, or in actual, if I was on your place, I would have not identified the answer for this. But if you know the answer, it's moderate. If you don't know, which I also don't know, so I will write my answer as tough. Okay, I would have rather skipped this particular question because RBI annual report we generally read for, I would say, interview purpose. We don't we expect some questions, but to read all these details from RBI annual reports will take a lot of time. Okay, so generally, yes, you should read RBI annual report. It is mentioned in your syllabus as well, but do read it only if you have good number of days with you. Otherwise, if you go in it, you will just get ample of data which can confuse you, right? So the answer of this particular question is T plus 3. It was reduced from T plus 6 to T plus 3. Okay, and if possible, read the summary which is provided to you by EduTap or by any other coaching institute if you don't have time to read the full report. Okay, so this question was also covered in the summary which we have provided. T plus 6A, it has been reduced to T plus 3. Non-banking financial companies, which risk are considered in capital to risk? This is your capital adequacy ratio or CRAR ratio. So for NBFC, which type of risk is considered? C, Basel 1, Basel 2 and Basel 3, or Basel 1, Basel 2 and Basel 3, whatever you want to call it as. All the 3 type of risk, credit, market and operational risk, are considered. Okay, in Basel 1 you can say that yes, only your market risk, which is your price risk, and your credit risk was considered, but in Basel 2 they have added your operational risk as well. But the question is asking you from the present perspective, and from present perspective all the 3 type of risk are considered, because in Basel 3 or in Basel 3, whatever you want to call it again, all the 3 types of risk are covered. In Basel 1 only 2, in Basel 2 and 3 all the 3 type of risk are covered, right? So the correct answer will be all the 3 type of risk. Again, this question is again easy for me, I would have done it, right? So this completes all our 30 questions of objective which you have to do in 30 minutes. Now according to me the paper was tough, there is no second doubt about it. We were not expecting big paragraph based questions in FM at least. Now let's move to the descriptive questions, because descriptive is the game changer, and yes, this type of question was also covered in our course. Coming forward to 15 markers. What are derivatives? Discuss different types of derivatives, key market paraments, significance, financial markets, and the risk associated. Now, this is a 15 marker question. Word limit is 600. Now, if I was on your place, this question was on my target list. Why? Because I know what is derivative. We have understood what is future, forward, swaps, and options. Key market participants are your hedgers, speculators, and arbitrators. Significance: they provide liquidity, risk associated, default risk, liquidity risk, and whatnot. So, if this question comes in front of me, I would have definitely done it. And this is the probable answer. First, you definitely try to give the definition of derivative. You try to explain what is an underlying asset, what are different categories of underlying asset, and likewise. Then you explain what are different types of derivatives. See, if you are falling short on words in such questions, then it's your mistake. Such questions are very, very, like you can write, x to y, x to z also in certain questions, because the questions are very, very open ended, right? Different types of derivatives. Then you have key market participants. Okay, then you have significance also. Significance is the important part, and then the risk associated. So if you see this question was on my target list, I would have tried to got 12 plus in such questions, because I know that these questions which I can do, right? So first identify the questions which are on your target list. Yes, I will do good in such questions. Okay, next in the 15 marker is what? Next in the 50, and then yes, we have covered derivatives beautifully in our course as well, because I have taught to you derivatives, one of my favorite chapters. Question number 2 in 15 markers: what is the channel of communication? Briefly explain the different types of communication channels and their importance. Now, channels pe we have done endless of discussion: formal, informal, grapevine, and whatnot. I hope you know that informal is like informal is a superset, grapevine is a part of it, but still there is a difference between these two. Okay, if you know them, then please write your answers in the comment box. I will be very much happy to see. Now, what is a channel of communication? You just need to define first communication, and then what is channel of communication. All types of communication, formal and informal, we know. Grapevine you can also use, and if you are writing in grapevine, you can also write different ways via which grapevine spreads in your company. So again, this was the question which I was targeting, and I could have done in your exam as well, because such questions are open ended. You can write multiple things over here. Okay, types of formal, types of informal, use cases of formal, use cases of informal, advantages and disadvantages also, but they are not asking you too much on the advantages and disadvantages, rather their focus is on importance. So I could have given the importance specifically for the informal as well, like informal helps you in social interaction. Likewise, this question should be done by you in the exam as well. Okay, moving forward to the next one. Next question in the, I would say, in the list of 15 marker is related to trait theories of behavior and theories of leadership. Now, first of all, yes, channels of communication was also covered in our course. What is the difference between trait and behavioral theories of leadership? Now, if you are writing an answer on this, you could have done, like in trait theory, you could have mentioned about Gordon-Allport trait theory. Gordon-Allport trait theory is a very famous trait theories. Behavior, again, you could have mentioned, but there is not, like you could have mentioned multiple things about behavior as well, but how will you get the words for behavior? That is what makes the concern for me. So what I would have done is, like if definitely if the first two questions are in my target list, I will do it. But if you want to attempt this particular question, trait and behavioral, then you will have to do mind mapping first. You have to write that what points you will write first, right? And then you have to start typing the answers. Okay, but still, according to me, this is a moderate question. The first two questions which we have seen, the channel one and the derivative ones, they are comparatively more easier, right? Derivatives and your, I would say, this question, communication, are more easier as compared to trait. Now in trait, yes, you can define about traits as well, different type of traits of leader. In behavior, you have multiple theories, right? You have multiple theories, so you can write about them as well, but how much to write, on which particular point you will write, that makes this particular question as moderate. Okay, but still 15 markers, I don't think they have given a good pain to you. The real problem comes in 10 marker, and yes, this particular question is also covered in our course. Okay, behavioral theory, people oriented, task oriented. Now in behavior also you have multiple theory. Blake and Mountain is there. You also have your Tanman and Skimith. You also, no, Tanman and Skimith isn't different, I think, but still you have multiple theories in behavior, right? You have multiple theories, so आप कितना लिखोगे? So try to understand that first. Identify the questions which you are sure short, yes, I will do them, and then only do these questions. Okay, then we have your 10 markers. What are the key factors that influences ethics in business? Right, now this question looks doable, because ethics, we always say that ethics is a descriptive kind of chapter, so you should practice multiple questions on descriptive as well. So what are different factors that influences ethics? You have your, I would say, culture of the organization, you have personal morals, you have values also, you have legal and regulatory framework, you have social push as well. So there are multiple factors to it, but still I think this question is doable, but I will rate this particular question as moderate. Why moderate? Because you need to think and then you need to write, right? But still this question is good to do, good to go, because you have multiple points over here. There should be no dearth of word limit over here, right? Then you have societal expectations, economic factors, and multiple things, right? Next questions, yes, this was also covered in our course as well, like why ethics is an important chapter, we have covered beautifully in our course. Next question, which I think is tough. According to me, you have 81 bonds. Discuss their unique features and explain how they differ from other type of bonds. Now, 81 bonds, we all know this comes from your Basel norms only. In your Basel norms, you have tier 1 and tier 2 capital. Now, if you go in tier 1, you have your common equity tier 1 and additional tier 1. So, if any company has to raise 81 capital, they will have to run 81, they will have to issue 81 bonds. So if you know all this stuff, then only you can answer this question of 81 bonds. Otherwise this is a totally googly for you, or this is a totally, I would say, bouncer for you. Okay, now 81 bonds were in news because SBI has issued 81 bonds. Yes Bank has write off, Yes Bank has totally written off 81 bonds because of their collapse. So 81 bonds was in news that time as well. Okay, 81 bonds, also known as contingency convertible bonds, are definitely a long-term debt instruments wherein you raise money. These are the different features of your 81 bonds. If you know, then only write. Otherwise, I would have skipped this particular question and I would have done the third one. Third one in this particular case is what? What is difference between value investing and growth investing? Now, this was the editorial which was covered in Economic Times. But still, if you know the basics of investing, you could have done it. See, if you are going in finance paper, investing basics is very, a much anticipated topic. For example, mutual fund industry these days. What is value investing? Value investing is like you pick a company which is very undervalued right now. For example, XYZ company whose share price is just rupees 10. You just pick this particular company and you hold it for long term. You hold it for long term, right? And in long term, definitely the price of the share of the XYZ company will rise to 100 or it will rise to 120. So this will give you capital appreciation. This will also help you to increase your capital in the long time. Okay, and many people do it. Like if you see the market these days, it is falling. Okay, Reliance is available at 52 weeks low. Indian Oil Corporation is available at 52 weeks low. These are like big companies which are available at small price. So you invest in these companies right now and you take out your money later at the stage, right? And then what is growth investing? Growth investing is like bullish. Like for example, if market is rising, I will invest my money into some company so that my money can also rise. But then what's the difference between value and growth? In value, you pick certain companies which are undervalued and you hold them for longer period of time. But in growth investing, you try to grow your money. It can be short term as well and it can be long term as well. Right? So if you know the difference between value and growth, then only you could write your answers. But having said this, my friend, if your knowledge about Basel is good, then 81 bonds could have done your job. Otherwise, this particular question would have done your job, which is based on value and growth investing. Okay, 81 we have covered in our course as well, but we do admit we could have covered more when it comes to 81 bonds, and surely it's a learning for all of us as well. But seeing that 10 marker questions, ethics one was doable and you could have chosen any one between your between your investing and the 81 bonds. So I would say 10 markers comparatively look more tough as compared to a 15 marker question. Okay, so
as a part of this session, we are going to discuss the 2023 RBI Grade B Finance and Management paper.
I will be taking out what? First I will be taking out the 1 markers. So let's go on understanding each and every topic, each and every question, and let's try to have a good debate about it. Question number 1. First, the NAV bit. It is asked from the chapter financial institutions. Okay. And I hope you remember NAV bit was added in the 2023 syllabus recently only. The question says the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Bill of 2021 was introduced in Lok Sabha in the March 2022-2021. The bill seeks to establish National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development as a principal development financial institution for dash sector. So it's like a fill in the blank question. The chapter associated to this question is financial institution. I would rate this question as very easy, not even easy, because in our live classes, in our course, we have covered this topic like multiple times. And I also hope that you know NAVBID is the fifth All India financial institution, which we also called as development financial institution. So NAVBID is fifth in the race. Like we have NABARD, which looks after agriculture and rural development. We have your SIDBI, which looks after your MSME sector. We have your Exim Bank, which looks after export and imports. And then we have your NHB, which looks after your housing sector needs. In the same manner, now we have NAVBID as well. NAVBID stands for what? National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. So NAVBID is looking after which sector? It is your infrastructure sector. Even if you have read the full form of NAVBID, then also you could have attempted it. In our course, in our live classes, we have covered multiple things. But the RBI, again, it is a like of a very basic question which RBI has asked. So first question according to me is very easy. It's like a cakewalk question. Second question, which of the following from the following details calculate return to asset ratio? So here you are required to calculate a very peculiar ratio which is return to asset. Now to calculate this ratio, they have given you income of 100 lakh and asset is given to you as 500 lakh. Okay. Okay, so they have given you income 100 lakh and assets of 500 lakh. Now to calculate return to asset ratio, you just have to apply one simple formula which we have discussed multiple times in your course as well as in your live classes. What is that formula? Income divided by your assets into 100. Why 100? Because we have to get the percentage figures, because all the options are given in percentage. So all you need to do is 1 divided by 5, right? Because income is given to you as 100 lakh. These two double zeros will get cancelled out. So 1 by 5 is nothing. It is just 20%. Again, this chapter is your ratios, which is again a very easy chapter if you do the basic components. Again, this particular question, according to me, it is very easy. Even if you have just known the formula, then directly you could have deduced the answer. Okay, so currently both the questions of question 1 and question 2, they are very easy according to me. One could have solved them under 20 seconds if their concepts are clear. Okay, coming to question number 3. Question number 3 says, as per Ocean model, if a person is organized, self-disciplined and he or she is achievement oriented, then which of the following personality traits can be associated to him or her? Now, to my surprise, if you see, this is the 2023 paper. If you go back and see the solution video of 2022, on the same themes, on the same lines, the exact question was formed in 2022 as well. So this is how previous year questions become important. Okay, they have asked the same question in 2023 as well. Now, if you know Ocean model, this particular topic has been from your management, and there is a chapter which is personality and perception. Again, if you understand what is Ocean model, which is a big 5 personality model, this question is again a cakewalk for you, and I would rate this question as easy only. If a person is organized, self-disciplined and he is achievement oriented, then he is following the personality trait of consciousness. Now you can have your own pronunciations to it, but it is an easy question according to me, nothing much to worry about. In Ocean model, hardly 5 traits are there: openness, consciousness, extraversion, agreeableness and neuroticisms. Okay, so it is a very easy question, nothing much to fuss about. Again, a cakewalk question if your concepts are clear. Okay, and this also can be solved under less than 20 seconds. Question number 4. In the field of management, dash describes the difference between true and exposed emotion. So here you have to identify the concept which explains you the difference between true and exposed emotions. Now, see, this particular question has been asked from your emotional intelligence chapter, which is again a very easy chapter. See, there is a list of 3 to 4 chapters like which are very easy. Starting from fundamentals of OB, that is organizational behavior, organizational conflict, organizational change, personality and perception. They are like very easy chapter. And last among them is EI, that is your emotional intelligence. They all the five chapters, starting from fundamentals of OB, emotional intelligence, organizational change, organizational conflict. All these chapters are comparatively very easy. Okay, so if any questions comes from all these different listed chapters, then it is a cakewalk question if your concepts are clear. In the same manner, question number 4, according to me, it is a moderate question. Okay, now why I am terming this question as moderate? Because the options which are given to you, they are like very closely related. They are not like discrete. You need to have a greater conceptual clarity to answer this. Okay, if you see in the field of management, that describes the difference between true and exposed emotion, your answer will be emotional dissonance. Emotional dissonance is that particular concept which says that yes, there is a difference between true emotions and exposed emotions. True emotions are those emotions which you are having inside you. Exposed emotions which you are showing to the different public. Okay, the answer cannot be emotional intelligence over here. Why emotional intelligence cannot be the answer? Because emotional intelligence is your ability to handle your emotions. It is not the difference between true and exposed emotion. It is how well you perceive your emotions. That is your emotional intelligence. Okay, perception defense, nothing of this sort is mentioned in your question. Perception is totally a different concept. Okay, cognitive dissonance is related to your mind. Okay, so nothing again is mentioned over here regarding the mind aspect. Emotional management is a component of your emotional intelligence only. How you manage your emotions, that is what emotional intelligence is all about. If you see, option D is the correct answer of this particular question, and because of a quite complex set of options, this question is a moderate level according to me. Okay, but again, if you have the good concept understanding, this will become cakewalk if you have the good conceptual understanding. Okay, now moving ahead to question number 5. Which of the following theory of ethics focuses on the consequences of greater good and evil? Now see, ethics is that particular chapter which is like quite alien to all those students who are not having any UPSC background, right? And I hope you agree with me. Now, this particular question which they have asked from ethics is like a very basic, very superficial question. They have not gone deep into the subject of ethics. So that is a kind of a very good news for all those students who are coming from non-UPSC background. Okay. So which of the following theory of ethics focuses on the consequences of greater good and evil? If your concepts are clear, then you could have marked this answer as theological theory of ethics. Okay, because theological theory of ethics says that if my consequences are good, that is my end results are good, then that particular action is viable. If it is not good, then they are not viable. Okay, so this is a very basic theory, and if you see, deontological ethics has to do with your duty, virtue ethics has to do with your professions, right? So this is again a very easy set of options which is given to you. Justice, ethics, justice theory, like again, this is not mentioned in your syllabus as well, so do not do this, but theological theory is the correct answer because it is related to the greater good and evil. Okay, so question number 5 according to me is taken from your subject ethics, and it is an easy question, if not very easy. Okay, it is an easy question, I would say. Okay, if it is not a very easy question, if it is an easy question according to me, I hope you agree with me. So till now, if you see in the set of first 5 questions, except question 4, all are doable, all are very easy or max to max easy. Cool. Now coming to question number 6. Generally, in the principle, dash is the principle which focuses on the kind of value which displaces concerns for others. What is the keyword? Concerns for other. Now this is also taken from your subject of ethics. Again, this is also very easy or easy according to me. If you see, the answer will be care. Care is what? That you show a kind of a loving attitude towards your parents, towards your friend, or towards your different relatives, right? So this is what your care is all about. Okay, so care is regarding the concerns of another. Now even if you don't have any prior knowledge of ethics, you could have done this with your, I would say, calculated risk. Okay, or you could have done this with your logical mind as well. So till now, the questions which have appeared from the ethics chapter, they are very easy or easy according to me, and you could have solved both of these questions easily under less than 20 seconds or not more than 30 seconds. Okay, now I am coming to question number 7. Question number 7 talks regarding the liberalized remittances scheme, which is one of the famous schemes which we also call as at LRS, that is a liberalized remittances scheme. All the resident individuals, including minors, and allowed to freely remit up to an amount of per financial year, April, March, for any permissible current and capital account transactions or a combination of both. Now, in my live classes and even Kritika ma'am YouTube lectures, you can see that the concept of liberalized remittances scheme was discussed multiple times. Okay, what will be your answer over here? Will it be 2,50,000 rupees or will it be $2,50,000? It will be 2,50,000 USD. So answer will be option B. Again, this chapter is your forex. Okay, again a very easy question because we have covered this multiple times. We have also covered section of FEMA, that is section 10 of FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act, which empowers RBI to take certain, I would say, foreign exchange related transactions. Okay, we have discussed this multiple times. Believe me, I'm not going to say this multiple times again. Liberalized remittances schemes were discussed at a very good length and breadth. Okay, coming to question number 8. In the field of finance, which of the following is an example of alternative sources of finance? Again, if you see overdraft credit, G-Secs, bonds, bank loan, and forfeiting, I hope you would have marked your answer as E. Again, this chapter is your this particular question is from your finance component, directly asked from the chapter alternative sources of finance. I hope you agree with me, and this question is also easy according to me. In your chapter of alternative sources of finance, we have discussed very important sources of finance, like we have leasing. I hope you agree, leasing. Crowdfunding is one, peer-to-peer funding. Then we also have factoring, forfeiting. So they have just asked you very one basic question that you have to select the odd one out kind of thing. Okay. So even if you understand the basics of alternative sources of finance, you could have easily marked your answer as forfeiting. So this question according to me is easy only. Okay. So if you see up to question number 8, except question number 4, all were like very easy to easy level, not even to moderate. Question number 9. In the journal context, which of the following is a type of non-tax revenue? So here you have to identify non-tax revenue, mind you. Now see, non-tax revenue. So again, if you have basic concepts clear regarding your fiscal policy, which is discussed in your just a minute, if it is discussed in your ESI course, then this particular question is also easy according to me. Why it is easy? Because just see the options which are given in the test, right? You have GST. GST is a kind of an indirect tax. I hope you agree with me. So it cannot be your answer. Custom duty, again it is a kind of a tax only, so it cannot be your answer. Interest would be the probable answer, but I will have to see the other two options also. None of the above will not be correct. Production duties, again this is a kind of a, all duties max to an extent are a kind of tax only. So D cannot be the right answer. Only option C is correct, because interest is that kind of non-tax revenue which the government of India takes from us. Okay, again a very easy question, or I would say a kind of an easy question only, directly taken from your finance chapter of union budget. Okay, we have a different chapter of union budget which is already uploaded in your course as well. Okay my friends, now coming to question number 10. Now here is one very I would say case study based kind of thing. Ramesh lent rupees 25,000 to Suresh for 3 months. Okay, so I am assuming Ramesh as A over here, and I am assuming Suresh to be as a B, just to set the case very easy, because Ramesh, Suresh and Rajesh, these are like tongue twister kind of thing for me. So Ramesh lent rupees 25,000 to Suresh for 3 months. Okay, this I get. After 3 months, Ramesh had to pay rupees 25,000 to Rajesh. So there is an entry of third party which is C, which is Rajesh according to me. So he underwrote an instrument obligating Suresh to pay a rupees of 25,000 directly to Rajesh. So now party P has to pay directly an amount of rupees 25,000 to Rajesh. Party B over here is Suresh. Party C is Rajesh. So do not get confused over here. Basically, party A is saying that you have party A is giving an order to party B that you have to pay rupees 25,000 directly to one party, which is party C. This is the overall case over here. What kind of negotiable instrument they will use? Okay, so first I will see line of credit. See, line of credit is used in for your import and export kind of thing. Nothing of import and export is happening over here. So line of credit will not be your answer. Promissory note can also, okay, promissory note is also not the correct answer because it has to mention the word promise over here. Okay, promissory note is a kind of a promise which is given from a one party to another. That is also not mentioned. Bill of exchange would be the right answer over here. Why? Because he underwrote an instrument. Obling. Obling means a kind of a, I would say, unconditional order is given. Okay, so that is only followed in the bills of exchange. Commercial paper cannot be your right answer because it is a kind of a debt instrument, or you can say a money market instrument. Bill of lading, again, it is used in your import and export businesses of your shipping. If you are sending goods from India to US via waterways, then you need a bill of lading. So even if you apply your logical mind, even if you go to the elimination technique, you could have arrived at the right answer, that is bill of exchange. Okay. Now, bill of exchange is a kind of a commerce concept. It is not like a core finance concept. It is generally discussed in commerce and accounts. Again, this according to this question is taken from alternative sources of finance only, and this is a moderate level question. It is not tough. It is definitely doable via multiple techniques. Those who are coming from commerce, for them, this particular question would be easy in nature. But those who are coming from non-commerce background, for them it is a kind of a moderate question. So if I do a complete analysis of one marker questions in your exam, there are 10 one marker questions. Except question 4 and question 10, all the other 8 questions were easily doable. They were not even in the moderate scale. They were very easy to easy level. Okay, I hope you agree with me. 2 questions were like quite moderate level, which we have discussed right now. Now we are coming to the 2 markers. Chalo. Now we are going to solve question number 11 to 15. Read the following paragraph and answer the question that follows. Now I am reading the paragraph on a very basic level. Indian government is committed to providing a financial inclusiveness and support the marginalized and hitherto the social economic neglected class. Financial inclusion is a national priority of the government. Okay, so I'm not reading the whole thing because I came to know that the paragraph is regarding financial inclusion. And nothing of much sort is mentioned in paragraph 1. But paragraph 1 is doing a kind of a blah blah thing over here, you can say, in financial inclusion. Second paragraph, in the same regard, one such DAT scheme to promote financial inclusion was launched by the government on 15th August 2014, which is one of the biggest financial inclusion initiatives. Now, in second paragraph, they have given you what? A kind of a fill in the blank. Now, we will have to read the associated question to it. Then only we can understand what this particular blank is talking about. Moving forward, in order to create an inclusive universal social security for all Indians, especially the poor and unprivileged, 3 ambition Jan Suraksha social Suraksha schemes were introduced. Okay, the schemes were launched on 9th May 2015 for providing a life accident insurance, which is Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Jeevan Jyoti and Atal Pension Yojana. Okay, so I can see the whole paragraph is talking regarding financial inclusion. This we have to first bring into our memory. That whole paragraph is talking regarding what? Financial inclusion. I hope you agree with me. Okay, now let's solve question number 11. Read the above passage carefully that we have done. Identify X scheme which was launched by Government of India on 15th of August 2014. Now, this is a very big scheme, that is your national mission of financial inclusion, which is also known as your Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So therefore, the answer will be option B of question number 11. Now, I hope you remember Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. This thing we have discussed multiple times in our lectures of live classes. We have discussed the insurance limit. We have discussed the overdraft limit. We have discussed n numbers of things regarding Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, because it is one of the flagship initiatives taken by Government of India to promote financial inclusion. I hope you agree with me on this point. So this question is also, according to me, it is based on current affairs. You can definitely say that, but it is easy because strategy on Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is like a very big scheme. It's not like a small scheme. It's like a very big scheme. So you need to cover important schemes like Pradhan Mantri schemes which are falling under the Ministry of Finance, schemes which are falling under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, schemes which are falling under Ministry of Education. So those are like big ministries. Agriculture, Panchayati Raj. So you have to cover them. You can leave the schemes of Ministry of Defense. You can leave the schemes of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Those are not related to RBI syllabus, right? But when it comes to the Ministry of Finance, you will find National Pension Scheme. You will find Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana, Suraksha Bima Yojana, and so on. Now, all these schemes were based on your current affairs knowledge only. If you have read the schemes document provided by us, then this question is easy according to me. Coming to question number 12, what is the insurance limit under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana? Now, if you are updated with current affairs, recently all these three schemes, that is Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Suraksha Bima Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana, they all have completed 8 years of their operation. So therefore RBI just picked that particular news and they formed questions based on it. This is how RBI plays with the current affairs. I hope you agree with me. Now, what is the insurance limit under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana? The answer will be 2 lakh. It is a fact-based question directly taken from your chapter Financial Inclusion. And yes, things are covered in our course in a best manner as possible. Question number 13. With regards to the above mentioned passage, what is the age limit to join? Now, age limit to join. Age limit means the maximum age to join Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. The answer will be 50 years because it is again been a fact-based question asked from your chapter Financial Inclusion. Again, I would say 12 and 13 also are easy provided that you have the information with yourself. Okay, if you do not have the information, definitely these questions will become tough for you. But speaking on a very basic level, these questions are easy. With regards to the above mentioned passage, what is the maximum pension received under Atal Pension Yojana? Atal Pension Yojana launched in the year 2015 under the ambit of Ministry of Finance. If I'm not wrong, 1000, that is 1k, to maximum 5k, that is 1000 से लेके 5000 तक pension you can receive over here. Now they are asking you the maximum pension, therefore the answer will be 5000. Okay, pension is receivable under Atal Pension Yojana, and I also hope that you know that it is working only for unorganized sectors. Okay, so question number 14 is also easy according to me if you have the basic knowledge. Question number 15. With regards to the above mentioned passage, what is the premium paid under Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana? So here you have to identify the premium paid under Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana was in news because recently the premium involved under Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana was increased. So under Suraksha Bima Yojana, the new updated answer is rupees 20. Earlier the premium was rupees 12, but now it is updated to rupees 20. So this is purely based on your current affairs knowledge only. So all the 5 questions which are asked from this chapter, that is financial inclusion, are comparatively easy. They are not tough. They are not even moderate level according to me. Okay. Now we are moving to question number 16. Now, question number 16, 17 and 18 are based on this paragraph. Motivation is the driving force that compels individual to act and pursue goals. So I can see this particular paragraph is talking regarding motivation. Two eminent contributors to the field of motivation are Abraham Maslow and David McClelland. They have identified specific workplace motivational needs. In this context, David McClelland proposed dash motivation elements while Maslow presented hierarchical structure of need pyramid. Okay, the seminal work done has significant advance in the underlying of human motivation in organizational settings. Now this is a recreated paragraph, my friends. This is why I was saying 5% of deviation. I hope you will allow us. Okay, now paragraph is very easy to understand, no rocket science. First paragraph talks regarding basic structure of motivation. The second paragraph introduce you towards the Maslow and David McClelland. In your course we have motivation part 1 and part 2. Motivation part 1 discusses regarding your content theory starting from Maslow to William Mucci theory Z. Okay, so those all theories are important. You have to cover them word by word or theme by theme, if not word by word. Okay, now let's solve question number 16. With regards to the above mentioned passage, identify X. You have to identify X from the following options. So basically you have to read this particular thing over here, that you have to specify workplace motivation needs. In this contents, David McClelland proposed dash elements while Maslow presented hierarchy. So if you see, David McClelland has proposed 3 elements which motivates a person. Those are needs of achievement, those are needs of appreciation and need of power. So again, David McClelland, even if you don't know what need of achievement talks about, you could have answered this particular question. Okay, again a very easy level question, nothing much to worry about. They are very easy, directly taken from your motivation part 1, which is already uploaded and updated in your course. Question number 17. With regards to the above mentioned paragraph, if an employee is currently at basic psychological needs, then what will be the highest level as per Maslow motivational theory? Now, I hope you know that Maslow has given a need pyramid in which we have five types of need. Sorry, Maslow has given a need hierarchy, right? In which we have five types of need. So first we start with basic psychological needs, then we move to what? Then we move to your safety or security needs, then we move to your love and belongingness, then we move to esteem, and at last we move to self-actualization. The question is very clear. What is the highest level? Then your answer will be self-actualization. Okay. So your answer will be of this question will be self-actualization, directly taken from your motivation chapter. It's an easy question according to me. Okay, coming to question number 18. Manager perception of employees can vary significant. Some may view certain employees as lazy and disliking work, while others may perceive as enthusiastic and enjoying their job. Identify the theory of motivation which explains such different managers' perception of employees. So question number 18 is directly telling you regarding theory X and theory Y, which was given by Douglas McGregor. Again, if you see theory X and theory Y do not has any mention in your RBI grade B syllabus, but this year RBI has shown that they can ask certain related topics which are not mentioned in your syllabus as well. So again, you have to understand that syllabus of RBI is indicative in nature, it is not exhaustive. So you have to trust EduTap course and you have to cover each and everything which we have mentioned in your course, because it's the demand of this exam. Again, if you have covered theory X and theory Y, you could have easily attempted this question in the less than 30 seconds at max to max, right? This question is taken from your motivation. Again, I would rate this question as easy only, not even too moderate. Okay. So all the three questions which have been asked on motivation, they are easy, they are not tough, they are not even moderate according to me. Okay. Now I'm starting with question number 19. Now, paragraph talks regarding leadership because leadership is the first word which I see. Leadership is the process of guiding and influencing individuals or a group to achieve shared goals. Okay, I can see that again a kind of a blah blah thing is coming over here. Okay, they have defined leadership. In the second paragraph, Kurt Lewin, a psychologist, has made Kurt Lewin, a psychologist, has made significant contribution to the study of leadership, though his research on group dynamics and social dialogue through his research on group dynamics and social psychology. So here they have mentioned regarding the Kurt Lewin. Okay, we will see if there is any question or not. So question number 19. With regards to the above mentioned passage, which of the following are the three leadership styles introduced by Kurt Lewin? Now, Kurt Lewin is a very famous name in the field of management. If you see, you will find his name in the chapter organization change as well. He has given one very, very big theory of organization change, which is three-step theory of organization change. Okay. In leadership also, he has made some contributions. He has given you three very basic leadership styles. What are those? Autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. Very basic question. Very, I would say, cakewalk type of question. Even a student who is coming from, +1 or +2 from CBSEs, they could have answered this question. The answer will be autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. Okay. So question number 19, taken from your chapter leadership part 1. It is an easy question according to me, nothing much to worry about. Question number 20. There are multiple leadership styles which a leader can follow. Okay. In the same regard, which of the following is an example of contingency theory of leadership? So here they are asking you that which is an example of contingency. Contingency is also known as what? Situational leadership style. Now in your course, we have defined multiple leadership theories in different categories. We have your trait-based leadership theory, we have your functional leadership theory, we have your behavior leadership theory, contingency theories, and whatnot. So they have asked you a question very basic on this, that what is the contingency theory of leadership. If you see the options, Fred Fiedler theory and Robert House path goal theory, they both are your contingency theory of leadership. Therefore, the correct answer will be both option A and B. So the correct answer will be option D. Blake and Mountain managerial grid. It is an example of, if I'm not wrong, behavioral leadership styles, or you can say it is not an example of contingency theory. Therefore, the answer will be option D. And again, this question has been taken from your leadership part 2. It is an easy level question. Okay, not much to worry about because they have not went too deep. They have asked you one very basic question, which is which of the following is an example. So even if you just remember the basic head, even if you remember the basic idea, you could have answered this question. Okay. Now I am coming to question number 21 to 25. Read the following paragraph and you have to answer the question that follows. Now, I am starting with this particular topic with you. A discussion paper. Now, a discussion paper, Governance in Commercial Banks in India, was issued by Reserve Bank on June 11, 2021 to review the framework of governance in commercial bank. Now, this thing introduced me that yes, I am talking regarding governance in commercial bank. Now, this is how you have to set an idea about the passage and feed it to your mind. Like in all the other passage, we have first identify what is the main theme, right? Like it is motivation, it is leadership, whether it is financial inclusion. So this is how you have to decode a paragraph. That first decode the main theme of that paragraph, and that can be done with the very first few lines only. Okay, or at max you have to read the first paragraph. In order to address the few operative research through such feedback, it has been decided to issue instructions with the chair and meeting of the boards. Okay, composition of certain committees of the board, so on and so forth. So now I am very much sure that if you have covered the course, then this particular topic is talking regarding what? Corporate governance in banking sector. Agreed or not that this particular paragraph is talking regarding governance in commercial bank. So I can understand that yes, RBI is now moving towards corporate governance in banking sector. If you read the entire paragraph, the paragraph talks regarding one fill in the blank also, that in the absence of the chair of board, the meeting shall be chaired by an independent director. The quorum of the board meeting shall be dash in the total strength of the board. Okay, that we have seen. This we will address once the question associated to it comes. Moreover, banks are required to form audit committee and risk management committee too. So again, paragraph is introducing you towards audit committee and risk management committee. And then in the last paragraph, the applicability of this particular overall notification is given, like it is applicable to small finance banks and private banks and not so, and moreover, and to even wholly owned subsidiaries of foreign banks as well. So this is the application part. Now this is a very good paragraph. First they have introduced the concept, then they have given you one fill in the blank, then they have introduced two committees, and then they have introduced the applicability. So they have discussed multiple points. Now we will see the questions. Chalo. Again, this is a recreated paragraph. It is not the exact one. We are trying to keep the same. Question number 21. Which part of the banking is being addressed by RBI in the above mentioned passage? So which part of banking is being addressed? So I hope you remember it is corporate governance. In which sector? In the banking sector. So answer will be corporate governance. Even if you don't know anything regarding corporate governance, then too you could have marked your answer when you have read this particular line, which is governance in commercial banks. So according to me, this particular topic is your corporate governance in banking sector. This question, specifically to question 21, this could have been solved with your logical understanding. So this is easy question according to me. I would have attempted this question. Question number 22. With regards to the above mentioned passage, the audit committee, now the question is going deep into the audit committee. The audit committee of the board shall be constituted with dash. So audit committee shall be constituted with only non-executive directors, which is your NEDs. That is the correct answer. Now, if you don't know anything regarding audit committee, then sorry, you could not attempt this question. Therefore, I am keeping this particular question as moderate. But if you know basics of audit committee, then you could have answered this question. So this is what the overall theme is. If you remember something, RBI is asking basics from that something. They are not asking anything tough. They are not asking anything which is out of the world. If you remember the concept, they are asking the basics of concept only. Question number 23 is moderate according to me. Ask from your chapter corporate governance only. Question 23. With regards to the above mentioned passage under risk management committee of board, the board shall constitute a risk management committee with majorities of NEDs. Okay, the risk management committee shall meet with the quorum of 3 members. The meetings of risk management committee shall be chaired by an independent director. Again, if you know something regarding risk management committee, then only you can attempt this question. If you don't know anything regarding risk management, then you have to move ahead and skip this question. So I will also keep this question as a moderate scale question. This was not easy or very easy according to me. This was a moderate scale question. Question number 24, identify with regard to the above mentioned paragraph, you have to identify X. If you go above and you will find the quorum of the board meeting shall be dash of the total strength. So the answer here will be 1/3, that is 33%. Therefore, the answer over here will be option B. Okay, the B is the correct answer of question number 24. So if again you know what is the quorum of the meeting, then only you could have attempted this question. So I will keep this question as moderate level because these things are directly mentioned in your concept notes and your videos as well. So if you pay close attention to them, then you could have attempted these questions. Now I'm not terming them as tough because they are doable. Tough is something which is not doable at all. Okay, many people have attempted these questions and maximum of them are going right because they have focused on the concept notes. Question number 25. The chair and the board may be the member of risk management committee only if he or she has the requisite expertise. So here risk management committee is developed. So the answer will be risk management expertise only. Again, you have to take certain calculated risk, and this is an epitome of that particular question where you can take a calculated risk. Right, my friends? So this is a very easy questions, my friend. Okay, you could have attempted this question if you apply your whole brain on that particular question, and you have to invest your time over here. You have to save your time in certain easy questions. Okay, so the answer will be risk management expertise. Okay, so if you see the question set on corporate governance on 21 to 25, 2 questions were like doable, 3 questions were moderate from this particular set. Okay, I hope you agree with me. Now I'm coming to communication. That is question number 26-28. Rohan's career journey was full of changes, trying out different roles. However, poor communication always held him back. Now, this is what I said the theme. That is, this particular paragraph is talking regarding communication. Okay, communication says what? Okay, communication via what? Communication via what? Why, my friends? Because the communication is a central theme of this particular passage. Okay, so communication. Rohan's career journey was full of changes, trying out different roles. However, poor communication always held him back. Despite his skills, he felt the need to conquer his obstacle for true success. Like Rohan, many people also faces barriers of communication. Now, this introduced me to a second theme, that under communication, this question is targeting what? This question is targeting barriers to communication. That becomes my sub theme. Okay. Now, there are some barriers which are given to you. Barrier A, Barrier B, C and D. Barrier A talks regarding misunderstanding due to translation error. Barrier B talks regarding lack in confidence of subordinate. Barrier C talks regarding rules and regulation. And barrier D, that is the point number D, talks regarding the lack of time due to preoccupied mind. Okay, I have read all of them. Okay, now lastly, Rohan can improve communication skills through several steps. Firstly, he should be actively listening to others for opening feedback and practicing clear and concise expressions. Okay, so the overall passage theme is very much clear in my mind. Communication, what is the subtopic? Barriers of communication. Okay, now let's try to address question number 26. With regards to the above mentioned passage, which of the following is an example of personal barrier of communication? Now, personal barrier. Now, I hope you remember that there are 4 different categories of barriers of communication. First is your organizational behavior or organizational barriers. Then you have your personal barriers. Then you have your semantic barriers. Then you have your psychological, or you also call them as emotional barriers. So they are the 4 categories of barriers which we have discussed point by point in your concept notes as well. Now, if you see question number 26, the question says which of the following is an example of personal barrier? कौन सा example है personal barrier का? So you have to read all these different points over here. That is option A, B, C, D. If you see misunderstanding due to translation error, this is an example of semantic barrier. So this is not an example of personal barrier, mind you. Okay. Lack of confidence of subordinates to communicate and give feedback to superior. This is an example of personal barrier. Why? Because it is related to the personal attribute of the subordinate. Okay, so this is an example of your personal barrier. Question C, statement C, rules and regulation hindering the communication and complexity in organizational structure. Now this is specifically not a personal barrier because it is a kind of an organizational barrier. Lack of time, yes, lack of time due to preoccupied mind. This is an example of your, I would say, personal barrier. So both B and D, the correct answer should be option E over here, and that is why I would rate this question as moderate, because you have to do certain logical delusions before coming to the correct answers. Okay, so question number 26 is moderate, but I hope you understand the logic which I am using to answer this question. Question number 27. Identify the barrier of communication where the person, sender or receiver, is unable to translate the message in a required manner. So here the key theme is unable to translate. Very easy. Those are your semantic barriers. Why? Because semantic barriers deals with your understanding of the language. They deals with what? They deals with also the understanding of the science behind the language. Okay, jargons, all the technical words are an example of semantic barriers only. Now this question is moderate, but this question is easy according to me. Okay, you could have solved this question. Which of the following is an example of non-verbal communication? That is question number 28 for you. Now if you remember, there are verbal communication and there is non-verbal communication, okay, which falls under the category of different types of communication, right? If you see what is non-verbal communication, in that particular type of communication you do not use any words. Okay, in writing letter I do use words, memos also I do use words, in body language I do not use any word, therefore answer will be option C. So if you see, this question is also easy. All these three questions have been asked from your communication chapter except question number 26. All the other questions asked from communication are easy, and you could have solved these two questions and invest certain time in question 26. No question up to question 28 is undoable. All the questions are doable according to me. I hope you agree with me. Now I am coming to question number 29. Now see, this question talks to you regarding power. Power is the capacity to exert authority, influence decision and direct actions, command resource, and often taken to attain specified objectives or maintain control. Now this question is from your power, that is discussed in your journal management part 3. Again my friend, nothing of power, nothing of topic power is mentioned in your RBI Grade B syllabus. Again I will say that is an indicative kind of thing. Our course is an exhaustive thing, I agree, but that is the best source because power is not mentioned in the syllabus of RBI. But here we are seeing that RBI is asking questions of power, so you have to cover each and everything which is mentioned in your course. Okay, on a very basic level. I am not saying that you have to cover each and everything word by word, but at least cover from a basic level. Okay. Now, if you see, the question further says Raven has identified different bases of power into two categories. So there is a Professor Raven and Professor French and Raven. They have introduced 5 kinds of power in different categories. They have introduced one positional power and then they have introduced personal powers. Now, if you know the concept of powers, what are different categories of power, your answer would be option A only, because positional powers are example of your reward, coercive and legitimate, and personal power can be knowledge and referent. Now, my friends, exact question was discussed in your live classes as well. I can show you the proof, but I am not allowed to show it right now. But if you see the live classes content, we have covered this particular question as well. Don't worry, it is also discussed in your journal management part 3. Okay. Again, you have to trust us. There is no other remedy available. Question number 30. Identify the theory of corporate governance. Now, this is a corporate governance, but mind you, there are 2 chapters related to corporate governance in your course. First is entirely dedicated to corporate governance, which is uploaded in your management section. Then we have corporate governance in banking sector, that talks regarding corporate governance in which sector? Banking. That is related in your, that is uploaded in your finance section. Okay, now this question is entirely related to management. Okay, that is corporate governance. This is not from banking sector, which is based on the perception that cooperation is an effective function to forge a number of relationships with different people and institutions. Simply, this is a topic of theories of corporate governance. There are different theories like stakeholder theory, steward theory, agency theory. If you remember the stakeholder theory says this only, that the organization has to make certain kinds of relationships. With whom? With all the related parties, be it the government, be it the supplier, be it the consumer, be it the employees. Okay, so therefore the correct answer will be option B, that is your stakeholder theory. So this is the end of the objective part. If you see, out of 30 questions, I would say only 5 questions are of moderate scale. Rest all the 25 questions are easy to very easy kind of thing. Okay, but I would have said that if you have covered concepts in a very well manner, then this whole paper according to me is easy to moderate. Okay, I hope you agree with me. Now I am starting with my analysis of descriptive writing. Okay, as you know, there are 6 questions which appear in descriptive, but you only have to attempt 4. First, I will discuss the 400 word or the 10 marker question. Then I will discuss the 15 marker question. Question 1 is related to what is open network for digital commerce, how it will beat the other e-commerce giant like Amazon or Flipkart. Open network for digital commerce. This is a news which was very much covered in our course, in our PIB sessions, in our Kritika's ma'am classes as well. Okay, because she takes certain finance and news sessions, right? So ONDC was discussed multiple times over there. Now this is a current affairs based question, and we always say that in finance definitely you have to give due importance to the current affairs side. Okay, so you can see this question is based on current affair. Question 2, what is the code of conduct, how it is implemented in the organization? Now this is management. In management there is no current affairs, so they have asked one question directly from the chapter ethics, and they have touched the static part of it, that they have asked you what is code of conduct and how you will implement it. I would again say this is not related to current affairs, and this level of question, according to me, it is moderate. All the questions in descriptive are moderate because you have to think and write. Okay, there is not a fluke which can happen in descriptive. Fluke can happen only by fluke I mean that tukka thing. Okay, that can only happen in your objective part, but it will not happen in your descriptive part, right? Question number 3, RBI has allowed pre-sanctioned credit lines via UPI, how it is a step towards financial inclusion. Again, this is based on your current affairs knowledge only. So if you see question 1 and question 3 in 10 markers, they are based in finance, they are based on your current affairs knowledge only. I will discuss the probable answers. Meanwhile, I am just discussing the overall background of that particular question. Now I am coming to 15 marker questions. Question 4, in the contribution, what is the contribution of Henry Fayol in the field of management? Henry Fayol is the father of administrative management, right? And this thing we have discussed in the live classes as well, and this thing is discussed in your course as well. Also explain 14 principles of management given by him. Now this is a tough question according to me. Why? Because you have to remember each and every principle of Henry Fayol in the field of management. So this becomes tough, but again, those who are coming from those who are coming from commerce or management, and those who remember all the 14 principles, for them this question is easy, or I would say moderate only. Okay, question number, now this is a static question directly taken from your management. Question number 5, discuss the big 5 personality model. Now big 5 personality model and these two questions, that is question number 4 and 5, they have been asked directly from your static syllabus of management. Okay, so static syllabus of management is very important, although it is theoretical, but you have to remember each and everything. Discuss big 5 personality model can be traced to your chapter personality and perception. Ocean model, we have seen one question in your, I would say, objective component as well, and now I'm seeing one question over here at big 5 personality as well. Okay, descriptive as well. Question number 6, briefly explain retail direct scheme of Reserve Bank of India. Again, this is a CA question, that is current affairs related question asked from finance. So if you see and if you analyze in descriptive section, in finance or finance section, all the 3 questions of finance are related to current affairs. Open network for digital commerce, pre-sanctioned UPI lines, and this retail direct scheme, all are related to your current affairs. So current affairs becomes your important hold. You have to understand that how you are writing, how you are understanding that particular current affair. Okay, so this is the question. Now again, this particular document is already uploaded in your course. You can see it. This is the answer key. You can see the answers over here. You can check your answers, and here is the explanation. Okay, so if you want to see the explanation, you can do it by yourself, and these are the screenshot which we have attached. But the entire paper, if I leave that bill of exchange wala question, the entire paper is covered in EduTap course in a best manner. For example, basis of power, what are positional and what are personal power as well. Okay, now this is the subsection of descriptive writing. Now what is open network for digital commerce? You first have to define what is open network for digital commerce, what are the major factors, objectives sorry, of open network for digital commerce, where it is coming from, what are the advantages, how it will beat Amazon thing, and so on and so forth. So this question again I would say is a moderate level question, because you need to understand that what is the current happening regarding ONDC. But again, you could have done it if you have the good control over current affairs. Okay, Question number 2, code of conduct. This I have already discussed, taken from your chapter ethics. Now, what is code of conduct? First, you have to define it. What is the purpose and significance of it? How it will be implemented, because implemented in the organization has been asked. So this becomes the main part of your body, right? So you have to give different points. Now, I am not reading this particular thing because it will make the class look very mundane. All you need to do is just do some self analysis and see the and refer to the document of descriptive model question and answer. Okay, then you have to give a good looking conclusion as well. But this code of conduct and what is the difference between code of ethics, you could have also mentioned that, but in a very brief manner, because that is not required over here, right? So this is regarding question number 2. Now I'm coming to question number 3. RBI has allowed pre-sanctioned credit lines via UPI. How it is a step forward toward financial inclusion. So how RBI has introduced pre-sanctioned credit lines via UPI. Again, this was tackled by Kritika ma'am in her CA classes, that is related to RBI in news and finance in news, right? So those are like must watch. Again, you have to give a kind of a background that what Reserve Bank of India is trying to do, what financial inclusion is all about, how this initiative of Reserve Bank of India will increase financial inclusion. Also, please remember that try to give your answer in points. Once you are using points, it is very easy for the examiner to check your answers. Now, this is the way you have to represent your answers, right? Reducing dependence on informal credit channels, because definitely if something is sanctioned from RBI only, or from payment aggregators, it will be in a competition to the informal channels, right? Then you have to give a well structured conclusion as well. And now when it comes to the 15 markers, we have what is the contribution of Henry Fayol. So now contribution, say we mean the principles only. So you have to remember the administrative management theory, how it has been introduced by your Henry Fayol. What is the overall, I would say, again, this is a very basic question. You could have easily said that Henry Fayol is the father of administrative management. He has given some 14 principles of management. You have to list them one by one. Okay, now do not go deep in each and every principle. You just have to use the approach of touch and go. You just go over, you just touch that particular concept and you have to move ahead in a very fast manner. Because if you go on explaining each and every point, then definitely your word limit will come into an issue. Again, give proper conclusion to it. Discuss Big Five personality model. This was also discussed in your, I would say, FLTs, which we have provided. The same question. Okay. So again, openness, example. Consciousness, example. Extraversion, example. Agreeableness, example. Neuroticism, example. This is the way, which is a model answer which has been given to you. But remember, first you have to define personality, then come to the ocean model. It should not be like that you are starting with the ocean model directly. First, have the courtesy to define what is personality. Okay. Last question talks regarding your retail direct scheme. Now, again, retail direct scheme, integrated ombudsman scheme. I hope you remember they were introduced by RBI to bring certain revolution in the Indian banking industry. Again, if you remember the date, it is good. If you don't remember it, do not write it. You can just say that it was introduced in the year 2021. Then you have to go deep into the retail direct scheme. You will have to mention each and every point related to it. Like you can mention the reasons, the features, and you can also mention the criteria. But I would say give less importance to criteria. You could have explained more features, and you could have also explained the reasons that why RBI is bringing it. Okay. Now the shoot up. So in this particular video, we will try to check that whether your preparation is going on the right track or not. And if you are able to solve all the previous year question of finance and management appearing in 2022 paper, you are going on the question was directly asked from RBI notifications, or you can also say it RBI website as well, because PIDF, which is Payment Infrastructure Development Fund scheme, which was created by RBI in a lieu of financial inclusion, in a lieu to increase financial inclusion in the nation. And mind you, my friend, PIDF along with other documents like NSFI, NSFE, that is National Strategy for Financial Education and Financial Inclusion, were very much in the news. So we were expecting one question on it. So the question was regarding PIDF, and the main question was regarding this. RBI envisages creating dash lakh touch points every year for digital payment. So you have to identify how many digital payment points were aimed by RBI. So the correct answer for this particular question will be 30 lakhs. So you can read about this particular analysis as well, that this particular question was very much easy in the nature. So if you see the overall coverage of this particular topic, Kritika ma'am has clearly taken this topic under the RBI notification, and this particular session question was also there in the marathon series. So this particular question was a cakewalk for all of you, and you should be scoring high on these questions. Now let's move to question number 2. This particular question has been taken from banking awareness. You can also say it as from international banking as well. So dash is a 20 character alphanumeric code used to uniquely identify parties of the financial transaction worldwide. So this particular question was there again in the RBI notifications only, and you can again see Kritika ma'am has covered RBI notification in the best holistic manner as possible. So the answer of this particular question will be legal identity identifier. Now my dear friends, there are different codes, like we have IFSC codes which are used in India. We also have bank identifier code which is used in SWIFT system. So these are journal, very easy type of question, and these act as a low hanging fruit in your exam. So you have to grab them by both the hands. So now let's move to question number 3. Question number 3 was all about under which method of communication the communication flows from top to bottom. So you have to identify different communication methods, and if you see, the answer of this particular question will be scalar chain. Why the answer is scalar chain? If you read about Henry Fayol 14 principles of management, which is discussed under journal management part 1. So you will find that under scalar chain you have a particular flow of command which flows from a lower authority to higher authority, and the flow of communication is like this. And if you are coming from higher authority to lower authority, then the flow of communication is downward. So you have to understand this particular principle, which is very much important as well. So this time communication was too much in the news, but although this is not directly taken from communication, this is taken from the 14 principles of Henry Fayol. Again, this particular question was easy, and this is a very basic question, and this is a worldwide famous theorem which was given by Henry Fayol. Now let's come to question number 4. Question number 4 says that MSME plays a very crucial role in the development of Indian economy. In the same regard, what is the small scale industries limit investment wise and turnover wise? Now this particular question is moderate, because if you see September 2021, or even if you go to July or June 2021, that is almost 1 year back, the phase 2 exam date, you will find that the MSME definition was changed, and Kritika ma'am has covered this particular topic under the phenonomic series as well. So you will understand that how each and every topic was covered under different, I would say, elements of the EduTap course. So the correct answer will be 10 crore to 50 crore. So you have to understand that this was one of the most important change which was brought under the MSME condition. So an MSME, mind you, my friends, are a very integral part of the Indian economy. So you have to understand and you have to read regarding MSME in a best holistic manner as possible. So the answer of this particular question was 10 to 50 crore, and it was moderate in nature. Now let's come to question number 5. In which stage of leave-in change management model we see reinforcement strategies practiced by the management? So again, this particular question was moderate in nature, and if you see the organizational change chapter of your course, leave-in change model has 3 stages. We all know: unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. Under refreezing stage, we try to bring an equilibrium in the, I would say, in the change process. We try to make sure that reinforcement activities are followed so that the change which we have taken place are now stabilized. Again, it was a very easy moderate level question, easy to moderate level question rather. So those who have understood the concept, they can easily clear this particular question without any hurdle. And mind you, my friend, this is a direct screenshot which we have taken from your course as well, and this was the exact wording which was used in your in the question paper as well. So you have to understand the keyword here will be reinforcement. If you are able to guess the keyword over here, then you can easily mark your answer. Now let's come to question number 7, or I would say question number 6 rather, sorry. In an organization, an employee is reliable, dependable, goal oriented, and cooperative. So these are 4 keywords which you have to identify. Okay, and then the question says that which of the following personality of the employee is reflected as a big five personality model. So you know that big five personality model is also known as ocean model of personality and perception. So if you are able to understand the ocean model, and if you are going deep into the ocean model, then you can easily crack the answer of this particular question, which is conciseness. Now when you are reading about conciseness, you will understand that the fixed by are the big five personality traits are having this we have already explained via ocean model. And under conciseness, you will understand that there are high level of thoughtfulness, good impulse control, goal oriented behavior as well. And in the notes, if you see, we have clearly given you that if you are high on conciseness, then you will have this then you will have a certain features, and if you are low on conciseness, then you will have certain features. So this is the screenshot which has been again directly taken from your notes only, and which clearly says that high conciseness people are organized, they are mindful of the detail, they are also goal oriented, and they will also have a particular quality of being dependable. So you will have to understand, and you will have to mark your answers accordingly. Now let's come to question number 7. As per the recent developments in financial market, what is the FPI limit on corporate bonds? So this is again a very famous RBI notification which was in the news in February 2022. So this is around 6 months only when it comes to the phase 2 paper. Now the correct answer here will be 15%. So this question was again covered in our marathon series as well. So this is the exact screenshot which I have given for you, and clearly mentioned that it's 15% for corporate bonds, and there are certain categories as well, and you can read accordingly. So yes, this particular question was moderate in nature because again RBI notifications are pretty tough to comprehend. That's why we have kept it under moderate level. Now let's come to question number 8. In the most general language, blaming one unethical behavior is called as. So this particular question has been taken from ethics. Now my dear friend, being very frank to our student, this particular question was not covered in our course. Why? Because ethics is a very wide variety, and we are still making our best efforts to cover all the concepts of ethics. So if you see, the correct answer of this particular question will be displacement of authority. Under displacement of authority, you will blame other people for their own unethical behavior. So it's like also known as bystander effect. So what bystander do is that he doesn't take the responsibility, rather he shift the responsibility to the other person. More importantly, the answer will be displacement of authority, and this was the one question which was, I would say, moderate to tough level. And this is the first question in a 10 marker which you could have used to completely avoid it. But if you are using different books, or you can see different standard books, then you can easily score this particular question as well. So now let's come to question number 9. Identify the form of communication when messages flows from all the level of organization under which communication of messages crosses all the level of hierarchy present in the organization. A very easy question. We all know that our diagonal communication is also known as crossfire communication. So if the communication messages are flowing through all the hierarchical level, then it will be termed as diagonal, which is also known as crossfire communication. So this is the flow of messages which flows via under diagonal and under crossfire communication. So this was again a very low hanging fruit for all of you. So you have to grab these two fruits, or I would say certain fruits, to score maximum. Now let's come to question. This is the screenshot which has been directly taken from your course. Question number 10. So this was again a part of your import and export policy. If you are reading EXIM policy, EXIM, sorry. Okay, so if you are reading EXIM policy or reading foreign trade policy, although this particular question was very much in the news when it comes to September 2021. There's a story is behind regarding Director General of Foreign Trade in India, DGFT, it is known as DGFT. They are pushing all the export companies to update their import and export code. So under import and export code, those fraudulent exporters which are not updating their addresses, their residential addresses, their bank accounts, were forced by DGFT to update their details. So that's why this particular code was very much in the news. So if you see, the question was regarding import and export code is mandatory and applicable to which of the following institutions. So the answer was HUF, sole proprietors, limited liability partnerships, and partnerships. Now if you see, this particular question was worth taking the risk. You can take the calculated risk over here, because if you see, if they have given you the term of LLP and partnerships. So if you see, LLPs are a mix of partnership and as well as a company. So if it applies to partnership, then it will definitely apply to the LLPs as well. That's why you have to understand the concept of taking calculated risk. And mind you, my friend, many of my friends who have appeared in this particular paper, they do not know this particular code, but they have taken the calculated risk and they have marked their answer as all of the above, and this is the correct answer. So in certain topics, even if you don't know about this particular question, you could attempt this particular question by using certain knowledge, and you can also gain this particular crucial marks as well. So now let's move to the 2 markers. So this was the overall summary regarding the 10 markers, and mind you, my friends, 7 to 8 out of 10 were easily scoreable, and you could have easily hit, I would say, your answer with 100% confidence in certain question. Although in some questions like import and export code, your confidence level could decrease to 85%. But mind you, my friend, you have to take risk, then only you will be able to redeem good profits. So again, I would like to tell you this particular point, that 7 to 8 marks was really very easy, and you could have scored 7 to 8 bang on. Now let's come to question. We will now discussing the 2 markers. So the first question was regarding organizational behavior. So you might have studied chapter 10 in your course, which is fundamentals of OB, which is a very basic level chapter. It could have you could have read that particular chapter even after phase 1, and you could have understood, and you could have also revised that particular chapter many times, because it's a very basic chapter. Just a reading or seeing videos is very much helpful in the first go. Now the first question was regarding how many levels are there under the organizational behavior. So we all know that the scope, under scope of organizational behavior, we have 3 levels, which is individual, organization, and team levels. So this is a very easy concept and a low hanging fruit. Crucial 2 marks could have been gained if you could have studied just this particular diagram, which is again taken from your course as well. So this is again a very easy question, and the answer of this particular question will be 3. Moving on the same line, question 12 was also formed. Identify the level. So there are 3 levels we have just discussed. Identify the level at which employees' motivation, personality, and job interest are studied. Now, if you just do the journal reading, the answer will be individual level. Okay, under individual level only you will be understanding the qualities of that particular employer. So that's why the answer was A. Mind you, my friends, if you are reading that particular topic in deep, it's really very good. But even if you are not reading in deep, then you can apply your knowledge, and you can also deduce your answer via logics. This is an clear example where in you, even if you are not able to remember the exact wording of that question, it's okay, but the logic prevails. So if you apply the logic, you could have easily marked your answer as A. So the answer of this particular question will be individual level. And mind you, my friend, this is the exact wording which has been mentioned in your question as well. Studied from personality, motivation, interest, and attitudes of an individual. So this is really very crucial that you are understanding the logic behind that particular question. Now again, a very easy question, which is question number 13. With regards to above mentioned paragraph, which of the following option identify the concept which explain the heterogeneous composition of an employer organization in terms of age, gender, language, ethnic, educational, and marital status? So again, this is a very easy question, and the answer will be workplace diversity. Under workplace diversity, I will be making sure that employees of different religion, employees of different caste, employees of different races comes and make your organization complete. So this is a very easy concept, and even if you have not studied this particular concept, you could have marked your answer. Or if you are a student of EduTap, then this particular question was again a low hanging fruit for you, and you could not miss your answers, and you could not miss your marks over here, because these are certain very easy question, and you have to accept these question by both hands. Now this is a set of 3 questions which was asked on OB. that is fundamentals of organizational behavior. And mind you, my friend, these all three questions were easy. If you are studying fundamentals of OB, then you will study the features, you will study the levels, you will also study the different characteristics, the different branches. So all this is a very basic level and you could have easily answered such questions. Now let's move to question number 14, my friend. Now this particular question has been taken from corporate governance. Now many people do not study corporate governance, they take corporate governance on a very lighter note, they do not understand the overall relevance as well. Now if you see on the basis of CSR is a world famous, I would say not world famous, an Indian famous law. Like IBC, we have insolvency bankruptcy code, we have also GST. So you must be understanding that CSR is also very much in the news because there were certain provisions which was changed regarding CSR. So question which is coming on CSR, it is very much, I would again say, low hanging fruit for you because they have just checked your basic knowledge. They have not gone that much into the deep. They have just taken one single paragraph. I think they have directly taken it from EduTap only, and they have made 4 different questions on CSR. So on CSR there were 8 questions. There were 4 questions. So each question was of 2 marks. So there was 8 marks on offering when it comes to CSR. So now let's discuss question number 14. As per section 135 of Companies Act, every company having a net worth of dash rupees of crore must be eligible for CSR securities. The answer will be 500 crore. Now my dear friend, I have not kept this particular question under the easy level because if we put it as a easy, then it is very much debatable, I would say, because many people take corporate governance as a, I would say, as a granted subject. That's why I have kept it under moderate category. But those students who are also appearing for SEBI, PFRDA, for them it's like a very easy question. Okay, we all know that they have to do a CSR of 2%. So these are certain very easy, I would say, topics which could have made a difference between the topper and those people who are not selected in the interview phase. So these are certain very easy question. Now the first question was regarding the net worth of the CSR company. So the answer will be 500 crore. Now this is the exact paragraph under which RBI has framed question worth of 8 marks. If you see, this is the exact paragraph which has been mentioned under your corporate governance chapter of management. Now moving ahead to question number 15, being on the same lines of CSR, they have asked you the net profit. There is a turnover limit as well, but it was mentioned in the question. Now when it comes to the net profit, yes, the answer will be 5 crore. And mind you, my friends, that this particular topic is again very much, I would say, in the news. Topics like GST, topics like IBC, topics like different I would say master circulars of say which are released or updated by RBI in last 1 year are a must do thing for RBI 2023 as well. So now if you see, the next question was also based on CSR only, that is question number 16, that you have to identify the total number of independent directors which are there, and you will also have to identify how many directors are there under the CSR committee. So the question was given in blanks. The question was regarding this. According to SEBI, companies eligible for CSR shall constitute a CSR committee of a board consisting that and dash many directors. So you have to identify how many directors are there. The answer will be 3. There are 3 directors which are there under the CSR committee, and the same is given in your notes as well under chapter corporate governance. Now moving on the same lines, question 17 says that how many independent directors should be there. So first they are asking you the number of directors, and then they are asking you the number of independent directors. So the answer of this particular question number will be 1, because there should be 3 directors. Out of that, 1 should be an independent director. So you have to understand that how they are making different questions based on some very popular laws, based on some very popular events which are going under the Indian corporate governance, going under the Indian financial markets, as well as going under the world. So this is really very crucial to understand. Now this again, I would say, again when we are moving ahead towards question number 18 now, again this is a very easy question for all of you to crack. We have, even in our LPS session, even in our YouTube session, we have revised the commercial paper limit like multiple times, and we have also revised different T-bills, different certificate of deposits limit multiple times. So those people who are missing, or those who are getting different answers, or those who are getting different wrong answers, I would say rather, are losing very much marks over this particular domain. Even the classes which was taken by me itself in the LPS, that is live practice sessions. We have revised this limits like multiple times. Okay, so now when it comes to commercial paper, there was 4 question which was asked. First question is regarding the minimum number of days via which a commercial paper can be issued. So we all know that commercial paper can be issued for 7 days minimum and maximum can be 1 year. Okay, so you have to understand this particular concept. Then if you move on to the same lines, this is the screenshot which I have directly taken and pasted from the notes only. So CP was introduced in the year 1990. We all know that this particular fact. We also know that CP is a type of an unsecured promissory note. You also know that CP is issued for minimum 7 days to 1 year. Although for financial institutions, the CP can be issued for minimum 1 year to 3 years, but that particular condition was not mentioned in your question. So now let's move to question number 19. Commercial paper can be issued for maximum duration of, here we all know the answer will be 1 year. Okay, but in the options they have given you days wise. They have given 366, 365, 150, 225 and this. So the correct answer will be 365. So you have to understand that it's not a leap year. Okay, so that's why the answer will be B, that is 365 days. So this is again I would say low hanging fruit. Just revise your concepts as much as possible. Trust on EduTap, trust on the different facts which we have given on EduTap, and you will be able to score as much high as possible. Now let's come to question 20. In India, commercial paper are issued in denominations of dash multiples. Again, a very easy question. It's issued in 5 lakhs or above. Okay, again very easy question. Hardly it would have taken less than 30 seconds. So if you are saving your time over these questions, then you can invest your time in those questions which require some logical conclusions. So this is the strategy which you should follow in your mock test as well, or you should follow in your different exam scenarios as well. Save your time in easy question and invest your time when the question is difficult. Now let's come to question number 21. Commercial paper in India are issued in India in which of the following forms? The question is very clear. You have to identify in which forms the commercial paper are issued. The answer will be promissory note. The correct word should be unsecured promissory note, but they have just given promissory notes, so we have to accept that only. And mind you, my friend, many people are saying it's P notes. Many people are saying the answer of this particular question should be participatory notes. No, participatory notes are issued for FPIs, or you can also say FIIs, foreign institutional investors who do not want to register themselves with SEBI. They can still invest in India by not registering themselves with SEBI, and they can invest that particular amount into India via FPI or FII routes. So there is a very big difference when it comes to participatory notes and commercial paper. Domains are very much different when these two terms are coined. So again, this was a very easy question. You could have scored 8 marks on commercial paper easily. They have just asked you the minimum, they just asked you the maximum, they have just asked you the multiples, and they have just asked you the form or type. 8 marks were like very much easy. And if you see corporate governance as well, if your revision is good, then 16 marks of paper was like in your kitty. And if you include the 3 question of your corporate governance as well, add 6 more, then your 24 marks of, or I would say not 24, it will be 22, sorry, 22 marks of paper was your in your kitty, and it was really very much easy, and it could boost your confidence as well, and it could make your selection confirm when it comes to the interview call. Now let's come to question 4. Now this was a particular question which was tough. Now if you see in last 1 year, RBI has come out with a different outsourcing activities norm for cooperative banks. They have even come out with outsourcing activities related to, I would say, IT, that is information technology. They have also released outsourcing norms for our payment banks, small finance banks as well. So this was very much in the news regarding cooperative banks, payment banks and small finance bank. Even to some extent IT, that is information technology, was in the news, because RBI said that you cannot just outsource your IT activities so easily. You have to make a periodic review as well. So being on the same lines, RBI used its, I would say, powers, and they dig out deep into their 2005 notification. So if you see outsourcing activities for banks, I'm talking about scheduled commercial banks over here. These guidelines were issued in 2005, but the word outsourcing was repeated by RBI in different domains. So you have to understand that how outsourcing word was used under cooperative banks, how it was used under information technology, how outsourcing word was used under small finance banks and payment banks. But the same is used by RBI under scheduled commercial banks, and the guidelines for outsourcing for scheduled commercial banks was released in 2005. Now that's why I have kept this particular question under the tough category, and it was really very tough. You could have easily skipped this question, but mind you, my friends, there are many different techniques via which you can solve this particular question. Now let's see the answer of this particular question. Typically, the question number 22 says that typically outsourced financial services include application processing, loan origin, and credit card. And then it was given different sets of option. That was this. Now, when it comes to document processing, you might have seen that many of the, I would say, banks, they outsource their document processing to some third agency which is specialized in that particular firm. Now there was also data processing. Data processing means that I will be making sure that all my data is stored under the Indian servers only, but that Indian servers can be, I would say, owned and operated by different companies. SBI will not invest too much on their data servers. They will be outsourcing that. Okay, investment management and supervisory of loans. So if, let's say, if I'm giving my NPA to some ARC, that is asset management company, so they will be doing the supervision of loan. So if you apply, I know that's very very tough when you are sitting in the examination hall and thinking of all this logical discussions, but you have to develop that power in yourself, and you will also have to take, I would say, calculated risk, because if you are taking risk under this particular situation, that definitely means you will be ending way above the cutoff. So the answer of this particular question will be all of the above, because if you read this particular notification, and I have also provided you the link, open it and you will see that how different activities can be outsourced by the bank for saving their cost. So the only reason why I am keeping, why I have tagged this particular question as tough, because it's from 2005. Although this particular question can be moderate level according to some students, but let's keep the journal level of students and mark it as a tough. Question number 23, again, you could have solved this particular question by using your common sense. There are certain activities which cannot be outsourced by a bank. Some of them are A and B. So there was two blanks which was given. Okay, and you firstly they have asked you number of activities which can be outsourced by bank. But now they are asking you number of activities which cannot be outsourced by bank. So mind you, my dear friends, you just have to read the question over here. There was no there was no all of the above. Okay, and if you see option B, core management functions, core management function like KYC, core management function like opening of accounts, core management functions like, let's say, closing of accounts, these are done by bank itself. That's why the answer was core management functions. My dear friend, again, the word core itself is the green signal for you to mark this particular question. So that's why, again, if you are taking calculated risk, 2 marks again was on your kitty, and it was really very easy to answer this question. Question number 24, yes, this particular question can be debatable and can be left altogether. And under such question, when you are not able to think of any logic, then it's definitely good to skip those questions and to play safe. But however, the answer of this particular question was regarding KYC norms. Again, KYC is a very integral part of the, I would say, bank processes. And although this particular question is from current affairs, but if you see banking and financial system, these are certain types of chapters wherein we have covered certain types of master circulars. That's why this particular question has been tagged as static. Although this was not covered under the EduTap course, but there are, I would say, more than 10 master circulars which are covered under this particular chapter, and it's under process only. We will update it accordingly. Now let's come to question number 5, or I would say para 5 rather. Now again, motivation, communication, leadership, journal management. These are like 4 basic chapters of management, and every student must do these chapters wholeheartedly. You cannot skip anything, because if RBI asks something out of the syllabus, or if they ask something off track, then your chances of selection are on dicey position. Now, if you see, there was some paragraph which was given by Ram. Ram was working under XYZ company and later he was shifted to ABC company because of the growth prospects. Although this particular question I have tried to make the exact paragraph, but I think the overall theme is the same. Now, question number 25. As Ram has complained about poor working conditions, so you have to understand this is the keyword over here of air conditioner, desk, and chair. As plus Keaton Hertzberg theory, which of the following need of Ram is not met. We all know that Hertzberg has given two-factor theory. Under two factor, we have two factors, right? The first is hygiene and the second is satisfiers, which are also known as motivating factors. Under motivating factors, you will understand that these are intrinsic factors and these are extrinsic. These are not related to individual's motive, rather these are external factors and these are internal factors, mind you. So if you are understanding the theme of the question, Ram is complaining regarding the poor air conditioners. He's also complaining regarding the desk. He is also complaining regarding the chair, and the management is not listening to all those different requests. That's why the answer will be hygiene factors, because these are external factors. This is really very easy question, and this we have covered very much in the detail under the notes as well. Now coming to question number 26. We all know that content theory starts with Maslow, then we move to Aldefer, then we move to David McClellan, then we move to Hansberg, and then last we stopped, or we can say partial stop at Aldefer theory, and last we also discussed William Uchi. So these are certain very basic theories, and RBI has been asking question on these set only. So if you see this year they have focused on Hansberg as well as Aldefer. So this particular question has been taken from Aldefer theory only. As Ram shifted from XYZ company to ABC company, this change of job can be explained by which of the following theories of motivation? Now, the answer will be growth needs, that was explained by Aldefer under the ERG theory. Under ERG theory, we all know that it was a copy paste, I would say improvisation of Maslow theory. Maslow has given 5 needs, so which Aldefer has broken under the 3 needs. So this is a clear diagram. Although due to the poor highlighting, I was not able to explain this, but we all know that under growth needs, I will be looking for my esteem needs and self-actualization needs. So Ram has shifted to that particular company because of that particular company's growth. It's clearly mentioned in the question as well, and if you see the different survey which I have taken from different students, they have clearly mentioned that it has been given that it has huge growth potential. So Ram is shifting to ABC company because of the growth potential. That's why we have the answer as Aldefer growth companies. Okay. It's nowhere mentioned that Ram is lacking under the money. He is not having food. So that's why the answer will be not existence. Achievement needs of David McClellan is totally different. They want high performance. So that's why there cannot be your answer. Belongingness is nothing mentioned regarding the shifting. So that's why the answer cannot be also belongingness. That's why the correct answer will be D. Now question number 27, my friend. As Ram is a very talented employee, what could ABC company could have provided to Ram so that Ram could be retained back? If ABC at last Ram leaves the organization and he opens his own startup. So why Ram is leaving? Ram is leaving because of two reasons. The first is that his own employees under ABC company is not happy with him. Secondly, Ram is also leaving because of a hygiene factors. Now, if you see the options were interpersonal relationships, autonomy, higher pay, social environment. So you can clearly eliminate higher pay because it has nothing to do with the question. It was just given to confuse you. Again, many students are saying the answer should be autonomy. Autonomy cannot be the answer because autonomy deals with the responsibility, it deals with the freedom, it deals with the overall authority of decision making. And all these keywords were not present in the option, not present in the paragraph which was given. That's why the answer cannot be autonomy. But my dear friends, there must be a confusion in your mind that what should be the answer, whether it's interpersonal relationship or it's social environment. See, this is a debatable question, but according to the best knowledge of mine, if you see, social environment is the correct answer because this is a larger subset and it will encompass your interpersonal relationships. So if this is a, let's say, social environment, this particular part will be a part of this particular subset can be said as interpersonal relationships. Okay, so this is how you have to go towards the best alternative. Although this particular question was moderate, but your options can make it tough. Overall, the questions which was asked under the motivation were moderate to easy level. Those who have covered the concepts, those who have revised the concepts, for them it's very easy for to choose the correct answer, because paragraph was very much easy to understand and it was not that much tough as well. Now let's come to the last set of question, that is from question 28 to 30. A paragraph was given regarding the communication. And mind you, my friend, again it was a very easy question. Not even easy, it was very easy. Yes, because in communication we have different concepts, right? We study the process, we study the models, we study the types, we study the types of non-verbal, verbal, and the difference between all these components. We study the personal barriers. But the whole communication building, or I would say the whole communication concept, is based on the process of communication. And the process of communication is very easy to understand. There are 7 steps, but that can be extended to 8 steps as well. According to Shannon and Weaver model, there can be 8 steps as well. So now this particular question was regarding that above mentioned passage indicates which of the following aspect of communication. So again, a very easy question, not even easy, I would say it as a very easy. So this particular question was covered in your EduTap notes as well, and the answer will be communication process, because in the passage they have clearly explained you that a message is originating from sender, and then it is going to the receiver. It is following different encoding and decoding process as well. So the answer will be communication process, which generally has 7 steps. Okay, so again this has been taken directly from your concept notes. Read the above mentioned passage and you have to identify A, and the next question is regarding B. So let's solve these two questions simultaneously. So if you see, the communication cycle refers to the steps which communication takes place between sender and receiver. This process starts with conceptualization of idea, which is also known as by sender. So if you see, the answer will be message over here. So this is the first answer which you will be getting, because first sender has to develop an idea and that particular idea gets converted into a message. So that's why the answer will be of A blank will be message, and then later the process happens. At receiver, at the end of decoding of messages take place, and at last a loop is formed wherein the receiver share dash with this. So again, it's a very basic question. Feedback is the answer, and this is the I would say basic of communication. Again, a very easy question. 6 marks for communication were very doable and it's very easy. I have already discussed. For blank A, the answer will be message, and for blank B, the answer will be feedback. Again, if you see the overall analysis of the objective mark, my friend, then you could have easily scored 24 to 25, provided that you are using your calculated risk, or you not out of, I would say, not 30. This is 30 questions. You could have easily attempted 24 to 25. Sorry, my bad. Out of total 50 marks, if you are getting 40 to 45 range, then it's really very good, and you are having a very high chance for interview call as well. And if you perform in good in interview, then your selection is short. But if you see the overall analysis, it was easy to moderate, and there was only 3 questions which were tough in nature, but in those questions also you could have easily applied the common sense and you could have got your answer. Now this is the analysis which will be done by Anchit sir. Yes, sir. He will be coming on YouTube, as well as it will be shared in your course as well. Now let's come to descriptive type of questions. So there were 6 questions worth of 75 marks, but according to the norms you only have to do 50 mark question. That is, only you have to attempt 4 questions out of 6. So the first question was regarding long-term repo operations, that is your LTROs. And if you are discussing about LTROs, then you could have also discussed about targeted long-term repo operations as well. So this was a very easy question. If you are reading regarding RBI annual report, if you are following all the current affairs, if you are following what RBI has done to improve the liquidity into the COVID situation, then you could have easily attempted this question and 400 words would have been easily breached. So RBI is not asking many of, I would say, financial difficulties. They are keeping the finance paper as very basic and it's to the point only. So this is the model answer which we have constructed for you. If you are facing difficulties in writing good question, then this is the way you should have presented your overall approach towards the this particular question. First, you could have defined what LTROs is, then you could have defined the objectives of LTROs. Objective means that why RBI is introducing it. Mechanism means that how RBI will be using that particular. And then at the end, you could have easily provided a positive approach that how RBI is making sure that the liquidity remains into the system despite of the COVID pandemic. So this is the overall flow. And again, according to me, this is a moderate level question, nothing much fancy over here. They have just asked you one of the most important measures which was used under the COVID pandemic by RBI. For example, they could have told you to write a short note on GSAP, that is Government Security Acquisition Program. And this is again a very important parameter via which we can judge that what RBI is trying for 2023 as well. Now let's come to now under RBI annual report, my friends. We have clearly disclosed that what TLRs or TLROs are all about. Question number 2, my friends, under the 10 markers describes India response under 2008 global financial crisis. So if you see global financial crisis of 2007 and 8 was clearly mentioned in your syllabus. And my dear friends, to my surprise, if you are watching my LPS session, I am not boasting here myself, I have given you a task of making 2 questions of GFC. The first question was regarding that what events led to the GFC. You have to explain that why global financial crisis took place. And in the second question, I have clearly told you that you have to describe the India's effort, what was the India's approach toward GFC. So those students who are coming and attending LPS, and I still remember there were 4 students who mailed me their answers, and they have personally thanked me as well over the GFC question. So this is really very important to see that how you have to understand and trust the teachers of EduTap. Hanji, so what was a model answer? A model answer would have been that first you have to describe what GFC is all about, how GFC took place in a very small and quick summary. Now, then you have to divide your answer into 2 parts. First is the steps taken by Reserve Bank of India and how different components were slashed down. And the second would be that what were the different steps which was taken by the government of India. So if you combine all this, then 400 words again was a very easy mark to breach. You could have easily done this particular question under I would say I would say less than 25 minutes, because this is the most predictable question in your exam. Coming to question number 3, again this particular question has been taken from your ethics part. How a manager role can be there in ethical behavior. So ethical behavior, this is again a very general question, because you could have easily used your knowledge from corporate governance, you could have easily used your knowledge from ethical principles, and you could have related to the manager's role. Or you could also, if you are reading the model answers which we have provided in your course, we have clearly discussed this particular question with you, that how a board of governors or board of directors are applying their what role is there by board of directors in the corporate governance, or what is the role of board of directors in ethical principles. So you just have to make sure that you are replacing that board of directors with the manager, because these are the people who appoint the manager. So if you understand the overall flow of answer, the first would be you have to describe what is ethics at workplace, what are some good principles, and then you could have linked that to the manager's role, and you could have given 4 to 5 points in your support. And at the end you could have discussed that how these certain principles will help the manager in having a good conducive ethical business environment. Question number 4, my friends, identify the barriers to impersonal or interpersonal communication and how a manager can reduce it. This is again a 15 marker of 600 words. Now, my dear friend, if you are seeing the overall trend, this year communication has won out of all the management chapters. You will see the communication question in 1 marker, 2 marker also, they are coming in the subjective marking as well. So again, communication, define just what communication is all about, define how effective communication is different from journal form of communication, and then you could have tell directly that why there are certain barriers are there. You could have also explained this particular concept by different examples. Okay, and then at the end you could have just described that how a manager is playing an important role under providing, I would say, solution to such barriers. So this is really very important. So this we have covered holistically under your EduTap course as well. Question number 5. People and organization are resistant to change. Describe measures to eradicate it. Now, my dear friend, if you are reading model question and answer, which we have provided chapter wise, and if you open your organizational change chapter, my dear friend, this is the exact question which we have provided you under the model question and answer. And if you are doubting my knowledge, you could have easily opened this chapter and see it by yourself as well. So again, I have just started this particular question with a very popular adage, and this particular adage means that it's a very important saying in the business world. And according to Kotler and Sigisnier, that there are 6 crucial techniques via which you can overcome the resistance which is shown by your employees. So these are certain values or certain methods via which you can overcome your change. Now this is the exact question which I am talking about. You could have easily trusted us and you could have easily gained those particular crucial marks in your exam. Coming to the last question, again this was a very easy question according to me. We all know that CBDC, blockchain. We also have Dogecoin, which are very much in the news. So RBI is just picking out topics from the current affairs and they are just linking it to their own domain. For example, if they are picking up for TLROs, then they are just asking you because it's of their domain. Then they are taking up your blockchain. Blockchain is a very famous topic. We all know, and that blockchain is disrupting banking. That how banking is disrupted. So we all know that blockchain has been used by many companies of late to make sure that the banking activities can be increased. For example, ICICI, if I'm not wrong, they are using blockchain in their own banking activities. So first, I would have just described that what blockchain is all about, what is the current scope of blockchain, and then I could have easily transferred the weight of my question towards how blockchain can be used in my banking. You can use blockchain under ease of payment. You can use blockchain under reducing cost of clearance and settlement. You can also use blockchain under time saving. Traditional versus modern lending can also be solved via blockchain. Now again, there is a very important parameter that there is no answer which is next to perfect. So you could have easily discussed about neobanks. We all know that neobanks these days are also using blockchains. We could have also discussed, you could have also, I would say, used the concept of blockchain under CBDC. And the same thing has been discussed under a notes as well, that what is blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, and how they are currently ruled out, or what are the current regulations. So this is your exact picture which has been taken from your fintech chapter of finance. So overall, if you see, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we are going to solve the RBI Grade B Finance and Management paper of the year 2021. Sorry. So here is the first question which is on your screen. You can give your answers in the chat box. I will be seeing your answers. And I would say that if you want to test your knowledge, right now is the correct time for it, because if you can even have, let's take out of 50, if you are able to score more than 13 objectives, then it's a very good thing. So the first question which was there in the 10 in the 1 marker was, which of the following is a revenue expenditure? So this particular question has been directly taken from your budget side. So if you are having a thorough knowledge regarding different components of budget, then this particular question is really very easy to you. So which of the following is a revenue expenditure? Please first of all notice that they are asking regarding the revenue expenditure. So I can see that maximum people have started giving the answer. See, first we going to the answer, I would like to tell you some small concepts. I'm not wasting much of your time. Budget is generally divided into 2 parts. The first is revenue side and the second is expenditure side. Under revenue, we have 2 types of revenue, and this is generally speaking of Indian budget. Okay. So under revenue budget, we have revenue receipts and capital receipts, and under expenditure, the same nomenclature goes through it. There we have revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Okay. So what are revenue receipts? Revenue receipts are those receipts which are reoccurring in nature. For example, like taxes. Government collect taxes every now and then. So that is a very important example of revenue expenditure. Capital receipts. What are capital receipts? These are non-recurring in nature. Capital receipts, for example, let's take borrowings. borrowing from international institutions, or for your example disinvestments. These are different types of capital receipts. Capital receipts are non, I would say, reoccurring in nature. Then comes to expenditure side. Expenditure side will be the same theorem will apply. Revenue, I would say revenue expenditure. These are the expenditure which are happening on a regular scale, like subsidies, investment, or I would say not investment, sorry, interest payment. Okay, so these are different types of revenue expenditure. And when it comes to capital expenditure, you can see different types of investments which the government do in the highways or building big, I would say infrastructure project. These are the example of capital expenditure. So the question is asking you about revenue expenditure. Yes, subsidies is the part of revenue expenditure. Interest payment is also a part of revenue expenditure, but loans to the state government is not a part to the revenue expenditure. It will come to the capital expenditure side. Okay, so the answer of this particular question will be D. Let me see the chat box. Yes, maximum of you have gone with the right marks, right answer, I would say. So you will get +1 over here. Now you can see that we have covered revenue expenditure thoroughly in our concept notes. You can see that we have divided receipts into two parts, and then we have discussed different I would say concepts related to revenue receipts. So this is a screenshot which I have directly taken from your notes, and this would save your as well as my time too. So that's why I've done some smart work over here. So now let's come to question number 2. Which type of perceptual error is seen in an individual as a part of a group? So you have to identify a perceptual error wherein an individual sees as a part of a group. So this particular question has been taken from your personality and perception. So generally it has been seen that when we try to judge the personality of some other particular person, then we make certain types of error, and RBI has taken this particular theme directly into the paper. So let me see who gives me the right answer for question number 2. Yes, the correct answer will be stereotyping. Under stereotyping, we used to take one particular person and we regard that particular person as a part of a group. For example, let's take South Indian peoples. So we assume that South Indian people eat too much of rice. I am just taking this as an example. Do not take it on a personal scale. So South Indian people eat too much of rice. So anyone who is coming from South India, we assume that they are eating too much of rice. So this is a kind of a stereotyping which is happening right now in India. Illusion, hallucinations, halo effect, and none of the above. These were just given to confuse you, my friends. Illusion is something which we generally talk in our journal language, that we will be someone like a RBI Grade B officer, but we have to work for it. Hallucinations is another very important concept which relates to the mental side of your brain. Halo effect, yes, this is a very good, I would say, topic to discuss, because there are two types of effect. First is halo, and the second one is horn. Under halo effect, we generally take the positive side of that particular individual. For example, if let's take Ram is coming to his lectures daily on the right time, this particular good quality of Ram we will attribute to his whole personality, and we see that Ram is a very good person. Okay, under horn we take a negative personality trait. For example, let's take Sham now. He is not coming to class right now on a regular basis. He is always getting delayed, and he is not coming to class very frequently. So we assume that Sham is not a good guy. So this is also a perceptual error which comes to the horn and halo effects. Again, the correct answer is option A. I can see that maximum of you have given the right answer only. So kudos to all those who are giving the right answer. And again, this is a screenshot which I have directly taken from your screenshot from your concept notes. If you see, stereotyping has been clearly defined in your note that stereotyping is any thought that is widely adopted by specific types of individual behaving to represent entire group of those. What in our example we have taken entire group as a South Indian people. They ate too much of rice. So this is an example which directly given in your concept notes as well. And this is a very beautiful, I would say, representation of halo and horn effect. Horn effect, may remember, it is a negative personality trait. Under halo we take a positive. So not wasting much of your time, let's move ahead to question number 3. Again, this is a very easy, or not very easy question. And if you are doing such question wrong in your exam, then sorry to say, RBI officer ऐसे नहीं बन पाएंगे अपन. We have to understand the different concepts related to motivation and different concepts related to other chapters as well. Which of the following is a process theory? As simple as that. They are not asking you anything regarding motivation. They are not asking you different concepts which are given by different theory. They are just asking you the different categories. We all know that motivation has two types of motivation theories has two types of categories. The first is content based. Content based is also known as traditional theories. Okay, and the second one is we all know that it is process theories of motivation. Process theories are also known as contemporary theories. I hope you all know this different categories, and in the traditional and content we have Maslow, then we have Eldifer, then we have David McClelland, then we have Hansberg, and then we also have McGregor theory X and Y, and to some extent people also bring William Uchi theory Y over here. So these are certain types of theory which comes under the content. Now what is content theories? They say that content theories of motivation say that we have to focus on a particular need, and then we will move forward to the next part of the motivation. Now what is process theory? Process theory doesn't focuses on a one particular need. They say that there is an overall process which works under a particular individual, and that particular process indeed motivates an person. Okay, so which of the following is a process theory? They are just asking you a very basic question. The answer will be Vroom. If you see Vroom expectancy theories, there we have expectancy, instrumentality, and valency, or whatever you want to say. This whole process explains that how a particular individual is motivated. So I think you are going to catch this particular question under 20 seconds. If you are wasting more than 20 seconds on this particular question, sorry to say, then you are hitting your own leg with your X. Yes, the answer will be option D, and this is a very beautiful, I would say, flow chart which I have directly taken from your content concept notes only. I'm really very sorry for my bad handwriting, but I have been very famous for this. So this is a very important, I would say, flow chart. If this particular flow chart has given you 1 mark of free of your RBI Grade B exam. So this was the level. Now we are coming to question number 4. This is a very good question, I would say. If you don't know anything regarding Johari windows, then you cannot solve this particular question. So according to Johari windows, which quadrant is known to self? So we all know that there are 4 quadrants which is known to self but not known to others. It is called as. So you have to identify that particular quadrant wherein that particular information is known to self but it is not known to other. यानी वो आपको पता है but दूसरों को नहीं पता है. So जोहारी विंडोज जो था बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है. Let me see my chat. I request to everyone to please participate. If you are not able to solve this particular question, then definitely there is a big time to start your preparations for RBI 2023. Yes, the correct answer will be hidden. Hidden is also known as facade. So the first and the foremost, or let me take the diagram which is directly explained in your concept notes. That will make things much easier. So this particular concept of Johari windows has been taken from personality and perception. Under personality and perception, we understand that how different awareness, for example, the internal awareness, which is also known as self-awareness, and how external awareness is analyzed. So when you go to the self-awareness part, you will understand that how Johari windows work. So the first and the foremost thing which you have to remember is that Johari windows was a concept which was given by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham. So this is a very important, I would say, again, if RBI is asking you different question on Johari windows, then this is a very low hanging fruit for you. You can just grab 1 mark or 2 marker question less than 20 seconds. So again, the concept of Johari windows is given in the following figure. So if you see Johari windows has a particular 4 quadrant. So this is the first, this is the second, and this is third and fourth. So under first quadrant, you have to understand that first we have to understand the 2 matrices. The first is what information is known to yourself and what information is known to other people. Okay, so under open arena, everyone knows everything about you. Even you know about yourself, and even the general public knows about you. It's very simple. Sab kuch khul hai, as simple as that. Under second, it is also known as blind spot. Under blind spot, you have to understand that you know about that particular information, that people know about your information, but you do not know about that particular information. It's like a trick. People know that you have certain quality, but you yourself don't know that you have that particular quality. So it's like society is giving you an inherent, I would say, activity. The third is also known as hidden area or facet. Under this particular area, I will hide those qualities from the external public. Okay, so I know about myself, but my public doesn't know about myself. And the fourth is unknown. No one knows anything about anyone. So you also don't know about yourself, even the public also don't know about yourself. So these are certain very important, I would say, concepts which comes under the form of management. And if you see, RBI is just asking you very basic questions on management. So I request you to please answer all these questions. And if you are not able to answer this, again, it's a very wake up call for all of you. Now we are coming to question number 5. Now this particular question has been based on current affairs as well, you can say it. But again, if you are reading your Business Standard, Economic Times, Hindu Line, then this particular question is again a cakewalk for all of you. What is the maximum FDI limit under government approved mechanism for public sector banks, maximum permissible under private banks, and maximum individual state and banks? So you have three questions which have been asked here. Again, this is a one marker question. So I request to everyone to please participate. So you just have to tell me under FDI. FDI stands for foreign direct investment. So under FDI, what is the limit which has been there by government approved? This is government approved, okay? Not automatically approved. Mechanism for public sector bank, maximum FDI for private banks, and maximum individual stakes in banks. So yes, the correct answer will be B. If you see PSB can, all public sector bank can have maximum FDI of 20%. The same goes for 74% for private banks, and individual person can hold 10% of the maximum stake in a bank. So this is a very important fact when it comes to the picture. Although RBI has, although I would say internal working group of RBI is now recommending this particular portion that is held by individual to increase it to 26%. But again, this is not under, I would say this is not finalized, that it is under the discussion only. So yes, the correct answer will be option B. And I'm very much amazed that I think RBI is just giving the facts which are directly based on from EduTap notes. You can clearly see if you go in the chapter, I would say corporate governance in banking sector. Okay, corporate governance in banking sector. Okay, this is I think chapter number 14 in your finance course. So if you read this particular line, you can easily answer that particular question in less than 20 seconds. Yes, again, hardly 20 seconds would be there if you are doing revisions on a daily basis. Now let's move to question number 6, my friends. Now this is a very beautiful question, I would say, and those who don't know the formula of certain ratios, then they cannot attempt this particular question. So I give you whole 1 minute and let me see who gives me the right answer. And if you are able to answer this particular question, then your concepts are really very strong. So here, let me see who gives me the right answer. Yes. So let's discuss about this. See, there are two ratios which are very important when it comes to the finance world. Every investor will look to these two ratios. The first is EPS. EPS stands for earning per share. What is earning per share? Earnings divided by total number of outstanding stock. Total outstanding stock. Okay. So this is your EPS, mind you. Then the second part is also known as PE ratio. PE ratio is referred to current market price. CMP stands for current market price divided by earnings. Okay. So now in this particular question, I will tell you to use your brain. Two banks, Foodie and Goody, has same number of outstanding shares. Okay, focus on this particular word. Two banks, Foodie and Goody, has same number of outstanding share. Equity capital is also same. Dividend is also same. Earnings is also same. Now, my dear friend, if you notice the particular set of options, just eliminate option B. Why I am saying this? EPS of one is higher than other. How can you tell that EPS is higher than one and another when your outstanding shares is total outstanding shares, and earnings, they both are the same. So if I say X and Y have the same earning and they have the same outstanding share, which means that EPS will be same. As simple as that. Now let's come to option C. Book value of one is higher than other. If you have understood the concept of book value, if you know that particular formula, you know that book value will require you certain concepts regarding you will require to estimate working capital, you will also require to estimate total equity shareholders fund, and the given information we cannot estimate that. Eliminate option C. Dividend of one is higher. Now question is clearly saying that dividend of both the banks are same, so this was also eliminated. Now the only option which remains is P1 is higher than other. Yes, this can be a situation because current market price, there is no information regarding current market price. So yes, there can be a situation where PE of one bank is higher than the other. So yes, the correct answer will be option A. So I can see that maximum of you have given the right answer. And if you are reading the concept notes, again, equity valuation, there is a chapter of equity valuation in your concept notes. Just remember the formula, and by using your own logic you could have arrived at the right answer. Question number 7. Coming back to communication. This is a directly taken from your communication, my friends. Okay, if a translator is not proficient in two languages, what kind of barrier it creates? So let me see who gives me the right answer for question number 7. If a translator is not proficient in two languages, what type of barrier it creates in communication? We all know that there are certain types of barriers. First is we have personal barriers. Under personal barriers, the subordinate and superior have their own personal problems. Then we have semantic barriers. Semantic barriers deals with the language, they deals with the science of language, they deals with the technical jargons and everything. Then we also have organizational barriers. For example, the company is not allowing you to communicate with your superior directly, so these are certain organizational barriers. Then we also have certain emotional barriers. There was a question in SEBI grade A which was based on emotional barriers. Emotional barriers relate to the mental state of that particular person. So again, a very basic question on communication, and in 2022, if you are aware of this particular year's paper, communication was a very hot topic in this year as well. Yes, the correct answer will be option B. If a translator is not proficient in two languages, which means that he is not able to understand one language and he is not able to decode that particular language, then he will be dealing with the semantic barriers. Remember this particular thing, semantic barrier is about the science of language. Okay, science of language says that if you are not able to understand the meaning of anything, if you are not able to decode that particular thing, then you will be dealing with the semantic barriers. So again, a beautiful explanation has been given in our concept notes only. And if you see different categories which we have made, this under semantic barriers, we have told you different components which are there. And mind you, my friends, if you are reading, let's take any course, for example, then try to see how depth they are covering it. For example, they have just given you a meaning of semantic barriers. That is not a good case, because you have to go deep into some core chapters: motivation, communication, journal management, personality perception, conflict. To some extent, you can also say that ethics. All these are like core management chapters, leadership as well. So you have to understand all this chapter going deep. You cannot just have a surface reading, because surface reading, if you are doing, then you are doing a selective reading which can backfire sometimes. Question number 8. This has been taken from your journal management, different schools of thoughts which comes to the management. So let me see who gives me the right answer for question number 8. Which of the following theory suggests making communication in an organization based on hierarchy, highly structured and formalized? So I can see only few people are there in the chat box who are giving the right answer. Rajeshwari is there. Okay. So I can see her preparation is going good. That is really very good to see. Which of the following theory? Now see, if you are studying the management, even if you are targeting your NABARD grade A exam, in general management you can see this particular question, or I would say in decision making rather. Frederick Taylor, he is the father of scientific management. Mind you, my friends, father of scientific management. And there are 4 principles which revolves around scientific management. I do not want to go deep right now. Henry Fayol, the father of administrative management, father of modern management. He has given world famous 14 principles of management. Max Weber, Max Weber is the person who has given bureaucratic leadership style as well. So he is the person who says that you have to follow your book. You just have to follow all the rules and regulation and move forward. Elton Mayo. Elton Mayo is very famous for one of the Hawthorne experiments which was conducted in Chicago, USA. So under Elton Mayo, we understand that how social belongingness needs work. So the correct answer of this particular question will be C. Max Weber is the one person who has given bureaucratic leadership style as well. So you know that it is based on hierarchy, highly structured and formalized. A very easy question, nothing much to worry about. A very short and sweet introduction is also given in your concept notes, that it has a legal rational authority, traditional authority, charismatic authority. Now this is certain type of authority which has been discussed by Max Weber. So this is known as depth part of your notes. So if you have ample of time, you can understand this particular concept, and when you are reading things in depth, obviously that will take you to another level when it comes to the descriptive component. Because if, let's take a short note comes on Max Weber contribution towards the management, then what you will write, that you will just write that Max Weber has formulated certain formal rules. Okay, it is good, but if you want to impress that particular person who is checking your answers, then you will have to mention all those particular points, and in that particular case the depth comes into the picture. So now let's come to question number 9, my friends. So I can see Shrikant is also joining the race now. So I request you to please participate. If you are not participating, then I can finish this particular lecture in next 10 minutes as well. So during merger and acquisition, which of the following are relevant to change management? Now, if you see OC, organizational change, and organizational behavior, OB, these two are like very, very good chapters to read with. And in this particular year as well, there is a question from OC and there is also a question from OB. So if you are ignoring these two chapters, saying that these are certain, I would say, nullified chapter, then you are doing a big mistake. Yes, the correct answer of this particular question will be E, because if any change takes place during merger and acquisition, it will definitely transform the digital transformation of the person or of the host company. It will also have smooth transition and restructuring. If even if you are not reading these two chapters, this is generally a reading. If you are having common sense, which is very less common, you could have easily answered this particular question. So again, if you are seeing our concept notes, if those who are subscriber to EduTap, they must have easily answered this particular question. Question number 10, my friends, and then we will see what is your score. I can see now new people are joining the chat. Shrikant, Rajeshwari and Salesh. Come on, have a good healthy competition among yourself. And if you are able to score 9 out of 10 in the one marker, then it's truly very good. And anything below 9 is not good, because I am considering that you will take that interviews are very up and down these days. So you have to score maximum in objective as well as in descriptive part. So now let's see who gives me the right answer for question number 10. Low employee turnover. First of all, you have to understand that what employee turnover is in a company indicates which of the following. So first, what is employee turnover? How many people are incoming in your organization and how many people are going out of your organization. The net difference is known as employee turnover. Higher the employee turnover, the bad it is for the company, because many people are leaving the company. It means that lower employee turnover means that people are retaining back in your organization. So it's really very good to see. That's why the answer of this particular question will be B. If you are having low employee turnover, then it means that employees are committed toward the organization. They are not leaving your organization just for, let's take salary or something. They are committed to work for your organization, and that is a classic case for this. Now if you want to link this particular topic, you can definitely link it to the morale part. Morale versus motivation, a very important concept. Significance of morale, you have to understand that what is the low morale indicates and what does the high morale indicate. So if when it comes to the employee turnover, if there is a high employee turnover, then many people are leaving, then definitely it means that your company morale is low. Vice versa, if there is a low turnover. So I hope you are able to score 9 after 10, and this is the world of competition. There is cutthroat competition, my friends. So if you are not able to score 9 after 10, I definitely will suggest you to, I would say, pull up your socks, pull up whatever you want to do, because 2023 RBI notification is, I think the current recruitment cycle will get over, and after 4 months you will see another paper. So by December, please finish all your management and static parts. Now let's come to the 20 question of 2 marker. Again, this is the most scoring part of your paper, and if you are able to rightly select 18 questions, which means 36 out of 40, then you are doing great. Question number 11, my friends. Question number 11 is your screen. Now this goes to the ethics part. Under ethics, I hope you have understood that there are different concepts, like there are morality, what is values, what are attitudes, what are different types of beliefs, what are different types of justice. All this is a component of our ethics, my friend, and the same is beautifully covered, systematically covered, organizedly covered in your concept notes as well. Now let's take question number 11. Which type of justice relates to employee input and input to appropriate rewards and input? Okay, so the question is very specific, that he is asking you regarding justice. He has nothing to do with the definition of justice. He's just asking you which type of justice it is. Yes, the correct answer will be A, distributive justice. Under distributive justice, for example, let's take, I am having this particular cake. All these different individuals will take an equal share. As simple as that. You have to treat equals as equal and you have to treat unequals as unequals. As simple as that. Retributive justice means that you will have to give punishment to a particular person which has done something wrong in the society. For example, if you see some terrorist is there, then you have to get them to a, I would say, to any other punishment level. What is procedural justice? Procedural justice means that you will have to follow a process. For example, let's take the terrorist only. That he will have to first we have to file the complaints to different levels of court. Then the hearing will start, and then the review petition and everything will go on. So this is a process which goes on. Commutative justice is, for example, let's take you are giving a certain type of advantages to a particular society. So that is an example of communitarian justice. Yes, the correct answer of this will be A. I can see that now responses are going down. Although this was a very easy question, I would say no, it is nothing to do with the core part of ethics where you deal about what is right and wrong. You just have to understand at what basic definition of justice is and then how different types of justices are there. So as you can see, there are different types of justices which has been defined in your notes, and a clear example of what distributive justice is: divide your cake equally, as simple as that. So now let's move to or I would also say that there is a very good example which has been given in your concept notes as well, that what is the tribal people in Australia, they give them a particular type of justice over there. So all the examples are also covered in your concept notes. Question number 12, my friend: which of the following study deals with the psychological aspects? A very easy question. Hardly anyone would require less than I would say less than 20 seconds to answer this, seeing the set of options which have been provided. I request you to please participate. Which of the following study will involve the study of psychological aspect? What is the literal meaning of psychological aspect? It means with mind, something which is related to your mind. So yes, the correct answer will be personality and motivation, my friends. Under personality, we have just seen how Johari windows work. So under Johari windows, you have to understand that it is also a cognitive process, psychological process, because you have to, I would say, think from your perspective and think from the other side as well. Again, motivation, there are different theories of motivation which are based on cognition. So cognition pe when we see decision making is also based. So you have to understand that how different psychological aspects are there. Again, you can eliminate all this option when it comes to the journal reading. Mental intelligence is all about your EQ, or rather IQ, not EQ, sorry. Merit rating, 360-degree appraisal, and all the different types of components which we deal under the human resource development, HRD. Although HRD is not there, but if you have time, then please spare some moment and read the summary sheet which has been provided in your fringe topic. We have made a new summary sheet now that is hardly of 50 pages, and that 50 pages compromises of different figures. So if you see that particular part, you are good to go. Okay, now let's move to question 13. Which subject deals with the formation and management of team? Which subject deals with the formation and management of team? Again, this particular question has been taken from your OB, organizational behavior. A very easy question, nothing much to deal about. If you see that there are different studies which comes under the OB part. First, we understand that there are three levels of OB. First, you worked under the individual level, then you worked under the, I would say, organizational level, and then you personally work under the employee level as well. So, which subject deals with the formation and management of the team? Yes, the correct answer will be sociology. Under sociology, you will understand that how a particular group is working, so you can easily relate your answer towards this. What is anthropology? Anthropology means something towards, I would say, towards studies of mankind. Psychology, again, something which is related to your mind. Archaeology, studying about old artifacts. A very good, I would say, revision type of thing, but it's a very easy question. I would say low hanging fruit. You could have easily grabbed 2 marks over here, and those who are doing this particular question wrong and those who are leaving such questions, it's a blunder. Now let's come to option A. Yes, if you see in your concept notes as well, we have briefly described different disciplines which contribute towards the OB field. So you can see sociology is there, psychology is there, anthropology, political science, and social psychology. So different concepts explained beautifully. Question number 14, my friends. First, I will give you 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, sorry, 30 seconds to read this particular paragraph. This is not the exact paragraph, I would say. A passage on electronic toll was given. Let me see the chat box now. I can see some people are trying to test my knowledge. I think it was Aristotle. Hanji. So who will be giving me the right answer for question number 14? So yes, the paragraph was there regarding different components which comes to the NPS and how fintech is growing in India. Okay. So if you see fintech, it's a very boom topic which is coming right now in RBI as well. So let's see who gives me the right answer for question number 14. Not wasting much of your time, I will just wait for 10 seconds. Yes, the correct answer will be this. That is option B. Sorry, not this. That is National Electronic Toll Collection. Now, if you see, India is taking huge steps towards digitization, and in the same, we have seen that how NPCI, how RBI, how SEBI, and different regulatory bodies are coming together to make digital transformation of our country. So, my dear friends, if you see, the question was very basic. You just have to see the different options, and you could have easily seen that the FASTag is the answer. Okay, my friend. And some people will say that it's NFS. NFS stands for National Financial Switch. National Financial Switch works for different ATMs network. So that cannot be your answer. So if you see how different FASTag, I would say, equipments are used, you could have easily answered this. This is a current affairs based question, my friends. So I request you to please read all your newspapers thoroughly, because if you are reading your newspaper thoroughly, then you can easily answer this particular question as well, provided that you know that NFS, what is NFS? Okay, I have just told you that it stands for National Financial Switch, and if you can eliminate such options, then you could have easily arrived at the right answer. And now here comes the one of the most important component of time management, my friends. If you are not able to devote some time over there, then you will lose your marks. You will have to understand that how you can eliminate some options. That's how you will do your some mental calculations and arrive at the right answer. You have to save your time in certain questions which are very easy, which are, I would say, like uh, cakewalk questions for all of you. So you have to save your time over there and come and invest your time in such questions which require some detailed reading. Now let's come to, this is the, I would not say that we are covering every part of current affairs in our finance static. This particular component was covered in the current affairs part. So if you see, we have briefly discussed about NPCI, what NPCI differently means, how NPCI has been formed, and what are the different functions of NPCI. So now we are coming to question number 15. Who introduced electronic toll collection system to meet electronic tolling requirements of the Indian market? Again, NPCI is a world, I would say, one of the world famous. Yes, it's world famous because of its UPI structure, and now you can see even France, to some extent, USA is trying to copy paste the entire structure which is following in India. So yes, the correct answer will be NPCI. Now my question to you is that you have to tell me the formation year of NPCI. Just let me know in which year NPCI was formed. Sailesh is there. In which year NPCI was formed? Very easy question. If you don't know, you have to answer your question in the comment box. I hope I will see maximum response, because if you are not able to answer such questions, then your basic level of understanding regarding different banking facts is really very low. So yes, NPCI was, chalo, I will give you some hint that NPCI was formed under Payment and Settlement Act, which was passed in 2007, and it was registered under Section 8 Companies of Companies Act 2013. And currently, if you see that many people are confused regarding different authorities of NPCI. NPCI, the current CEO is Dilip Asbe, but the current, I would say, chairman is Biswa Mohan Mahapatra. I am not able to recollect his right name, but it's like Biswa Mohan Mahapatra only. So it's really very good. Hishik is saying, don't know, sir, new to preparation. So you have to buck up right now. It's really very, I would say that if you are at this particular level, some people are, let's take this as a level of preparation. If you are at this particular level, if you don't know the year in which NPCI was set up, then you are definitely starting from basic. It's good, you can start, but you have to pace up your preparation, because those people who are in the field of RBI for, let's take, last 2 to 3 years, they are already sitting over here. They just need to mug up the current affairs and they will clear this particular paper with the ease. So you have to start your preparation as soon as possible. Now coming to question number 16. Let me see who gives me the right answer of question number 16. SEBI is the regulator of commodity market. RBI is the regulator of NBFCs. SEBI is the regulator of capital market. Again, if you are reading financial institutions, for example, SEBI, RBI, NABARD, EXIM, IFSCA, IFSCA, SIDBI हो गया, SIDBI है, SIDBI नहीं हुआ है. So all these are very NHB, very important. So all these are different financial institutions which are working in India. And if my dear friends, I am expecting one question from this particular institution which has been just been formed, NAVBID. Again, these are different types of financial institutions. But if you see, there are different development banks as well. Now my counter question to you is, tell me the name of development banks which are operating in India. You could also write your short forms or whatever you want to write in the comment box. I will be seeing and testing your knowledge in the comment box only, because if I start teaching right now, it will, this particular lecture will go like for 3 hours. Yes, the correct answer of this particular question will be 3. That is C. SEBI is the regulator of commodity market. Yes, you have heard right. Multi Commodity Exchange, which is also known as MCX. SEBI is the regulator of that particular body. RBI is the regulator of NBFC. Yes, RBI is the sole regulator. But yes, you could have said that RBI does not regulate all the companies, all the bank, no, all the NBFCs. Some part of NBFCs is covered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs as well. But here the statement is very basic, and it says RBI is the regulator of all. RBI is a regulator of NBFCs. If I add all, then it will become wrong. SEBI is a regulator of capital market. Yes, we all know that all the capital market regulations are formed by SEBI. So the correct answer will be option C. And my dear friends, if you have just remember this particular table which is given in functions of RBI, there is a very specific chapter related to the different functions of RBI in your FM static course. If you are, if you are preparing for RBI interview as well, read this particular chapter line by line. Your knowledge will go like 2x 3x times. This particular chapter is really very important for those students who are targeting RBI as well, or even I would say NABARD or different, because RBI is like a big brother of all the institutions. So if you see different type of NBFCs or different type of I would say companies are regulated by their different authorities. For example, those NBFCs who are dealing with the pensions, they are regulated by PFRDA. So there are different companies. So I can see some answers are there in the chat box. Salesh is saying payment banks. No, Salesh, you are going very wrong on this particular topic. IDBI, no, IDBI is also. So if you want to know development banks, first is NABARD. NABARD looks after your rural development. Then you have SIDBI. SIDBI looks after small and scale industries. Then you also have this particular bank which is known as NHB. National Housing Bank. National Housing Bank looks after different housing needs. And then we also have NAVBID. NAVBID is a new form. So this is the fifth one. I think the fourth one you have to let me in the comment box, because I'm not going to disclose all my cards. I know the name, believe me, I know the name, but I will not disclose all the names. You will have to comment that in the comment box. And mind you, my friends, if you are not able to comment it, then definitely it's a very wake up call for all of you. RBI officer बनना है, ऐसे नहीं बन सकते. You have to work your asses out. Question number 17, my friends. According to a circular released by SEBI in 2018, apart from ASBA process, I know you know the full form of ASBA, that is the application supported by blocked amount. Applicants can also apply for IPO. So this is again, you can stake fintech, changing landscape, which are directly mentioned in your RBI syllabus. The same chapters are covered in your EduTap course as well. So the correct answer will be UPI. I hope you know about the UPI. UPI is one of the most important financial pillar of our Indian economy now. Every now and then you will heard that UPI transactions are crossing million times. They are crossing billion transactions. They are crossing different this. So please understand that UPI is a very important figure, or I would say very important fact. Yes, if you see regarding different current affairs of UPI, UPI was very famous due to, I would say, due to the IPO process. If you see currently, if the LIC IPO was there, SEBI released a very different notification saying that if any retail investor who is trying to invest in the LIC IPO, they can invest via UPI. You will also see UPI 2.0 was launched under NPCI website. The limit is now 2 lakh for UPI. Many people say that UPI still has a limit of 1 lakh. No, it has been upgraded to 2 lakh. So UPI is very famous. Again, when it comes to IMPS, the minimum limit has been increased, sorry, the maximum limit has been increased to 5 lakh. NEF 24 hour 7 ho chuka hai. I hope you know about all these different facts, and the same has been covered in your course as well. FM static course. So again, application supported by blocked amount, ASBA. A very comprehensive coverage has been done in your course, because we know that UPI, ASBA, how they are interlinked, and we have also given some separate paragraph, and the same question was there in your, I would say, RBI Grade B paper as well. So now ASBA applications can be made through. Now we have just learned that how ASBA works, or rather I would just say that we have understood that how different components of UPI work. So you just have to let me know that how application via ASBA can be processed. I can explain the whole process of ASBA, but due to the paucity of time I have to. Yes, Rajeshwari has given the right answer. It's Exim Bank, which is the fifth development bank. Superb. Now I can see some I would say some competition is over here. Some people were also saying it's SEBI. So that's really very good to see that how you people are going now. So just be regular and read your concept notes on a daily basis. Yes, the correct answer will be SC, that is self-certified syndicate banks. And my next question to you is, SEBI has recently released a not recently, I would say off late, because it's like 4 to 5 months. They have released the release of those banks which falls under the category of SCCB. There are total 60 banks under this particular category. I hope you know about it. If you do not know about it, then your current affairs coverage is going low. So what is this particular self-certified syndicate bank? Nothing much to discuss, because just keep things very easy. We might have understood that there is some, I would say, RBI Act 1934 are divided under 4 schedule. Okay, so you will see there are 4 schedule. Out of these, the third as well as the fourth schedule are of no use. The most important schedule is second. So all those banks which come under second schedule of RBI are known as scheduled commercial bank. In the same manner, those banks which are allowed to deal with the ASBA process are known as self-certified syndicate bank. As simple as that, nothing much to worry. Currently there are 60 banks, although I am 99% sure, but 1% not sure, because that particular news I have just read in the newspaper. So there are 60 banks which are ASBA certified. Now let's come to question number 19, my friends. Again, a very low hanging fruit of PPP, and I was totally surprised when I saw this particular question in the real exam, that how can RBI directly copy paste the question directly coming from EduTap notes. Yes, so you have to first read the paragraph which was based on public private partnerships. If you see the history of this particular chapter, very less weightage was given, but suddenly out of that particular pressure cooker, RBI just asked a question on PPP, and mind you, my friends, I think a set of 3 questions is there which equivalent to 6 marks. So let's see who gives me the right answer for question number 19. Yes, the correct answer will be HAM, that is hybrid annuity model. Hybrid annuity model is very famous when it comes to highways. Our National Highway Authority of India, NHAI, is using this particular model for last 2 months, or not last 2 months, for last 2 years, and there has been an unprecedented growth when it comes to the formation of highways, because under this particular component, or let's first discuss what is HAM. HAM stands for hybrid annuity model. Under this particular model, there is a combination of different models of PPP. We combine BOT model, we also combine BOT annuity model, and there is also one very important which is EPC model. Under EPC model, first let's discuss what is EPC. EPC stands for engineering, procurement and construction. Under this particular model, government invites the intelligence, invites the knowledge of the private sector, and government gives the fund to them, and they say that you have to implement this particular project with your knowledge. We will be funding you. Now what is build, operate, transfer? Government allows that particular private party to operate on that particular asset, and they can also collect certain tolls on it. So they can, and at the last they will have to transfer that particular asset back to the government. Then there is also component of build, operate, transfer annuity. Under this particular component, government makes the Overall theme of BOT is same, but the word annuity here means that it will make payments under certain series. It will not make a lump sum payment. So that is the overall combination of HAM. So you have to understand three concepts and then combine them to form an HM. As simple as that. Yes, the correct answer will be HM. And my dear friend, the same concept has been given in your concept notes as well. PPP annuity, which is sometimes also known as BOT annuity, PPP toll, and EPC. All these three different models have been comprehensively explained in your course. Question number 20. Yes, Salish, these are the exact questions which came in your RBI Grade B 2021 exam. You can also find the paper in your course if you are an EduTap student. It's been uploaded over there. Question number 20. In the above model, now here first you have to identify which model was there. So it was HM because in the last question we have just discussed. Provided by the government, or I would say in the above model, the support provided by the government during the construction and later in the annuities. That's why I was saying BOT annuities. During the operation will be in the ratio of dash. What will come in the place of bank? So government provides support into 40 and 60. Now 40% of the cost is provided for first 5 years and the later is provided under the 60% is provided later on. So a very important ratio. They have just picked, I think, one of the articles, and they are just picking the important data points from it. And luckily, this was there in our notes as well. Hybrid annuity model. If you understand this particular model, the same question, the same answer, you will see 40% of the first project cost is paid under the first 5 years. Now let's come to question number 21. I would say this is the easiest question you will find under the PPP chapter, because all the PPP chapter, when it comes to the different finance chapter, I would rather say, you can sometimes get confused when it comes to the components, but if you are able to answer the question when it comes to the overall journal reading, this is an epitome of this particular question. Yes, the answer will be infrastructure, and if I write highways, then the answer will be like 100% correct. You could have said it manufacturing as well, but majorly it has been used under the infrastructure facilities for building different assets for the nation. So question number B, again a very, I would say, 6 marks of your was your totally on your cakewalk type. You could have just revised different concepts which are given in your concept notes, follow a particular process, first finish management, then move to the finance component, finish all the chapters which are related to the core management. You could have leave different fringe topics first, but finished finance and management by December. Take this particular target and you will thank me later. Question number 22. Again, I would say cakewalk, and again cakewalk. Nothing much to discuss. You just have to understand the definition, and you just have to understand that how you can eliminate certain options. Dash refers to the action in which a company or business alters. Again, I have told you OC and OB. These two are the new pillars of RBI Grade B syllabus. Earlier it was motivation, communication, leadership or general management. But now RBI is shifting its goalpost. They are coming to OC, OB and you can also say ethics. But ethics right now is in launch stage. I'm predicting that ethics in the next paper you will see certain types of you could say major changes in the RBI Grade B paper as well. Like they could increase the component of ethics. So now dash refers to the action in which a company alters. When you see this particular concept, you have to mark your answer as change, because under this particular organization change, company tries to adapt new innovation, they tries to adopt new culture as well. Okay, so this is really very important. Now if you see organizational justice, nothing to deal with the definition which is given in the question. Organization conflict structure, all these are given to confuse you, nothing much to worry about. And if you see in our notes as well, we have beautifully described that how organizational change can take place. It can take place in groups. Under groups also it can take between in a single group, or it can take place between multiple groups. In a work as well, it can also take place under the different organizational structure as well. So we have beautifully explained this, and the screenshot of the scheme is the same is attached. Question number 23, again OC. OC, if you see, that is organizational change. It's a very sweet acronym which I have been given to it. OC. If you see, there are two theories. First is planned, and the second one is unplanned. Under planned, you will see there are different theories, like you have leave-in change model, you have ADKR model, a Dakar model, which is also very world famous. Under unplanned, you will also see different theories. So what is the name of the second stage of leave-in model? A very easy question. Leave-in model is like world famous for its organizational change. So I can see, let me see the chat box now. 21B. I think we are 23 right now. Prashant is saying with BBB. I don't know what Prashant is saying. But let's come to question number 23. The leave-in model has been divided into three stages. Just a small basic introduction, and then I will move. First is to defreeze. You have to make sure that all the people of your organization are coming and accepting that particular change. Then we comes to the change, and then we comes to the refreeze. Nothing much. So the question is about the second stage. Second stage is known as change, and this particular stage is also known as stage of transition, my friends. So next year, if you see this particular question, don't get confused. Okay, so first you have to unfreeze, which is also known as defreeze. Unfreeze yourself, then you have to refreeze, then you have to change, and then you have to adopt those particular changes. Nothing much. A very easy question. My dear friends, I will just give you one homework question. You just have to let me know who is the founder of this particular theory, which is known as Adakar model of change. If you know the full form of this particular theory, then you are good to go. But just let me know the name of the person who has given Adakar model of change in the comment box. Again, a very easy question. Which of the following is the regulator of capital markets? इससे easy question नहीं आएगा, because this question is for 2 marks, my friends. Which institution is having a control over which particular market? Yes, it's SEBI. Right now we have discussed this. A very easy question, nothing much to discuss. Capital markets are under the purview of SEBI. Question number 25, or I would say, if you see, we have just given a very beautiful note on SEBI. We have covered the history, we have covered the composition, we have covered different functions as well. And if you go deep into this particular chapter, you will also see that what is the mission, what are the different goals, what are the different ways via which SEBI regulates the capital markets. So a very comprehensive coverage is there, and I am again repeating this work because each and every question has its roots in the EduTap notes. So now question 25, again a very easy question. You just have to identify the depositories. In India, we all know that there is a very huge financial market which is working because of BSE and NSE. So there are different depositories which take care of all the demat accounts which are opened by the different investors. Yes, the correct answer will be 1 and 2 only. NSDL, National Security Depository Limited, and Central Depository Services Limited. These two are the depository. CCIL is a, if I'm not wrong, Clearing Corporation of India Limited. It acts as a central counterparty for government securities. CRISIL is one of the most important, I would say, credit rating agencies. So just eliminate the options and you will arrive at your right answer. Right answer is option A. Mind you, my friends, again, I'm not saying that our course is the best, but I will say that we have a very good authenticity when it comes to the EduTap course. You can just read this particular question, that we have defined different participants of stock market, like who are clearing members, who are depository participants, who are depositories, and this is the question which they have asked you. Question number 26. Name the payment regulator formed in 2007. Now I think you will be able to answer that particular question. I think someone was not able to answer that. Yes, NPCI was formed in 2007, my friend. So this is really very important for you to remember, because NPCI is a very big organization now. It was formed in 2007 with the coordinated efforts of Indian Banking Association and our very own RBI. Okay, and I have just discussed you that NPCI, the CEO is different, the president, I would say the person who is a director in NPCI is different. Don't confuse them. Currently there are 10 promoters of NPCI. I hope आपको ये सब पता हो, because this is a high time. If you are not able to start your preparation now, then it's a very high time. Yes, the correct answer will be NPCI. Okay, again we have discussed NPCI briefly in our notes, and you could have seen that this particular component is from a fintech, and whole, I would say, In Hindi, we have that particular word, Damodar. Okay, so whole loads of fintech has been carried by NPCI only. Question number 27. This has been clearly based on your current affairs. So even if you are linking your different current affairs to the static part, this particular question could have been solved easily. So you just have to understand that what particular passage is talking about. Bhasha Yantra is an event. Sorry. So you have to see that particular, and this particular question is talking about certain type of barriers. We have just discussed barrier in one marker as well. There are different categories of barriers, semantic barriers. We also have this particular category which is known as uh, individual related barriers, organizational barriers. We also have this particular category which known as I would say halo and halo effect. All these are different emotional barriers, different barriers. So again, if you are reading them, hardly a journal reading would have helped you to answer this particular question. Yes, the answer will be linguistic, because you are not able to understand different transitions which are going there. So again, linguistic barriers have been clearly defined in your notes, and I don't think it's need further explanation, because it's a very easy term to understand. Question number 28. This has been purely based on your current affairs. Now you have to be very specific that how you have to link your current affairs to the static part. Yes, the correct answer will be D, Aksharyan. So you can see that finance CA, or I would say not FMCA, finance CA is also a very important component in your, I would say, in your RBI Grade B 2021 exam. Now we are coming to question number 29, again taken from your current affairs part only. But if you are reading your schemes, if you are following rigorously schedule of current affairs as schemes steps which has been provided in your course, then this mission is also very easy. The correct answer will be option A, that is National Mission for Translation. Nothing much to discuss, let's move ahead. And this was announced in the budget 2021-22. Now this is the most easiest, I would say, another very easy question for all of you. So this is the last question in the objective part, and in the descriptive part we will discuss that how we could have answered that particular question. Okay, now question number 30. Recently RBI has released a second dash with the theme of cross-border payment. Now if you see, RBI is releasing different cohorts. Okay, so if you see different cohorts have been released by RBI for regulatory sandbox. What is regulatory sandbox? RBI prepare a battle like field for all the companies to test their particular product, and by that particular thing RBI will come to know that whether this particular product will work in the Indian market or not. Recently RBI has released a cohort. This has been the name of that particular batch for the scheme of cross-border payment. So this has been the second cohort, my friends, under dash for live testing of products. So very easy question, nothing much to discuss. The correct answer will be A. And if you are thorough with the knowledge, in 2020 RBI started releasing cohorts. The first theme was MSME lending, if I'm not wrong. Oh no, this was a theme of third cohort. The first cohort was, if I'm not wrong, retail payments. Yes, so I apologize for certain retail payments. Yes, so the theme of third cohort was MSME lending. Theme of second cohort was cross-border payments. The theme of first cohort was retail payments, and the fourth cohort was also in news, which is prevention and mitigation of financial frauds. So this is a directly news related to the current affairs. And if you are not reading current affairs thoroughly, sorry to say you are doing a big mistake. Now I hope, guys, regulatory sandbox is also covered very beautifully. I would say not beautifully, systematically in our course. You would see different categories have been covered regarding different norms as well. Now I hope you know that there are 5 stages via of regulatory sandbox. Every product which enters into the regulatory sandbox, that has to pass by 5 stages, and these 5 stages are defined under different duration. So that is a big topic to discuss, which will be discussed and we will be discussing in future. So now if you see, the overall level of objective question was comparatively, I would say, easy to moderate. So many people, if you see, have scored very good in the objective part when it comes to the 2021 batch. They have completely scored. There are many people who have scored 35 to 40, and there are people who have scored 45 to 40 to 45. So objective part was scoring. I truly believe on this particular point. Yes, on the examination day, it might seem different because you are under certain pressure and you have to solve certain questions. But believe me, my friends, if your concepts are strong, then no particular question can give you nightmare. Now, I am coming to descriptive question. Before moving to descriptive question, I would like to give a disclaimer that no particular question is bad. I would say no particular answer is bad. It depends upon the way you read it. So we will be discussing about different components of descriptive question, and then we will end our lecture. So this was the first question. Discuss the 5 announcement which was made in Union Budget 2021. 400 marks of 10 400 words of 10 marks. Now my dear friend, this particular question can be attributed to your current affairs as well, but this is a very scoring question, my friends. You could have easily defined what Union Budget 2021-22 brings to the table. At that particular junction there were different I would say pillars, but this is nothing relevant for right now, although you can use these different themes for building your descriptive answers. But my dear friends, if I try to correlate this particular question with the Union Budget of financial year 2022 and 23, then you could have easily mentioned about different ropeways project which are coming in the northeast districts or in the Himalayan districts. You could have easily mentioned about the capex term, how capex is increasing by 35%. You could have also mentioned about the income tax returns. There are different social security schemes as well. Har ghar jal is also there, rural electricity is also there. So just make us professional approach. Do not just say that Union Budget 2022. Mention it completely, that what is Union Budget 2022 and 2023 brings to the table. Mention the financial year. Also refer to different make small categories, like what does agriculture and rural development has been offering. You could have mentioned about the Kisan drones. Then make a category regarding banking. You could have mentioned regarding 75 digital banking units which are going to come by 2000 in this particular year, by 75 year of independence. Make a heading of social sectors. Mention that how rural electricity is going to come over here. Mention that how many pensioners are there and what are the different categories. You could have also make one sector of fintech. Tell about what crypto tax has been introduced. So very easy question, and in the last you just could have end on the positive note. Just say that how Union Budget 2022 and 23 will contribute towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat, towards the new Bharat, or whatever adjective you want to use. So very easy question if it comes in this particular year. Now let's come to question 2. What is transformational leadership and transactional leadership? State the difference between transactional leader and transformational leader. Again, very easy question if your concepts are clear. Again, if your concepts are not clear, then sorry to say this will be tough. In the I would say in the introduction part, define what leadership is. First, define leadership. Then briefly describe what is transformational leadership and transactional leadership. Hardly 5 lines would be enough for you to write. I know that particular interface to write on that particular day is different. It's totally tough. I totally understand. But believe me, concepts ke piche bhago and you will not face any much difference. Then tell how these two types of leadership differ. You could have easily used pointers 1, 2, 3, because in the real exam it's very tough to use these type of pointers. Okay, so avoid this. Use standard formats A, B, C. Define at least, I would say, 6 points, and this is very easy to define the difference between the transactional and transformation leadership. You just have to understand the basic theory. You just have to, if you are thorough with the motivation part, then you could have tell that how transactional leadership is following theory X approach and how transformation leadership is following theory Y approach. So very easy question, I would say. Anyone who is having the basic concepts ready could have easily scored this. And in the, I would say, in the conclusion part, you could have mentioned that how transactional leadership is useful when there is a short period of time, when there is crisis. Never end your answer on the negative. Just say everything positive, and you have to showcase the positive side of transactional leadership and transformation leadership. And in the last, you could say that how these two leadership contribute towards the organization. Very easy. Nothing much to discuss. Let's move ahead to question 3. What is corporate governance? Define its need and principle. Again, a very easy question, although provided that you know the correct definition of corporate governance. Define corporate governance. Then this is your body part. Now, many people will say that how you have to define corporate governance. Remember one standard definition. Remember who has given that particular definition. For example, in Uday Kotak Committee, which was set up in 2017 by SEBI. If you are reading the syllabus of RBI corporate governance is a big chunk of if big chunk of your syllabus. So remember that particular definition which has been given by Uday Kota committee. Same for motivation. Remember one definition which has been given by Maslow. Leadership. Remember one definition which has been given by Keith Davis. Communication. Remember certain journal definition. As simple as that. If you are remembering those definitions, then you will have a head start. Having a head start in your introduction part will give you a flow. Many people will define that motivation is a general process of motivating others. This is not a good approach, I would say. Use standard definition of Maslow and you could have easily answered this question. In the body part, define what is the need, why there is a certain scam there, that's why we need corporate governance, and then end with the principles. If you see, we have covered this particular question in the your concept notes as well, and we are also providing certain model question and answers. वहाँ पे भी you will see the exact replica of certain questions which are coming in your, I would say, in the PYQs. All the PYQs from 2007 to 14, all the 2021 questions, 2022 questions are covered in your this particular document of model question and answers. Now discuss SIDBI, NHB, NABARD, RRBs and EXIM. A very easy question. Currently, I have just asked you regarding the development banks. Again, these four are development banks which are mentioned in your scheme. RRB is not a development bank. It's just a different banking institution. So again, if you see your concept notes, I would say a very easy question. You could have easily started directly with the SIDBI. Start with SIDBI. First, tell me the launch year of SIDBI. SIDBI was set up in 1990 via an act of 19, if I'm not wrong, 19. SIDBI was established in 1990, if I'm not wrong, and tell the act of that particular year as well. Then you could have easily mentioned that what SIDBI is all about. In the same way, you could have tell about NABARD as well. NABARD Act was passed in 1981. It was established in 1982 under B. Sivaraman Committee. Then you could have tell about that what are the different roles and functions of NABARD. A very easy concept. Same goes for National Housing Bank. So all these different I would say concepts are covered under the financial institution chapter, which is I think 24th chapter 24th of your financial institution. You would see we have covered Exim Bank, the history, what are the different, I would say, functions of different financial institutions. So let's go ahead to question number 5. Basel norms. Basel norms are a very integral part of your finance syllabus, people. So if you are a finance student, then understanding Basel norms is a very crucial thing. There are 3 Basel norms. A very easy question: Basel 1, Basel 2, and Basel 3. Basel 1 came in 1988. It was I would say established in India in the year 1999. Basel 2 came in 2004. Basel 3 came in year 2010. All these different facts have been given in your concept notes, and you could have easily scored this particular question provided that you have that particular knowledge in yourself. If you don't have the concepts, then how will you write a question which is based on 600 words? And mind you, my friend, in descriptive, yes, concepts also play important role, plus your typing speed. These two are the very important things which work under the descriptive part. Although in objective part, concept part is really very important, but in descriptive part, your concept, your typing speed also matters. So you have to type with the correct forms. You have to reduce your grammatical mistakes. Question number 6: what is behavior? Yes, this particular question I would say is comparatively tough because it will test you on different components. You have different components, sorry. You will have to first define what is behavioral reinforcement, then you have to tell me what is positive, negative. But again, OB and OC, I am telling you, these two chapters are the new pillars of RBI Grade B exam. Again, if you see the overall syllabus, we have briefly described what is reinforcement, how it can be positive, how it can be negative. You have to tell about the law of learning which has been given by E.L. Thorndike. What is the reinforcement theory which has been given by B.F. Skinner. All those different components. Again, I would definitely say this is a tough question, or I would say toughest question of the 2021 descriptive part. Rest all the questions were easy, and provided that if you have basic knowledge, you could have easily answered it.
So I hope the video was helpful for all of you, and through this video you can learn that what is the trend that is being followed by RBI and what is the difficulty level of the questions. And through this I hope you are also able to analyze the most important and the least important areas, right? And you can use this knowledge in order to boost your preparation, right? So that is it from my end. And as I told you in the initial part of the session also, that if you want to know how EduTap can help you as a part of your journey, you can just go to a website, and these are the different type of courses that we offer, right? You can go through them one by one. So that is it from my end. Thank you so much and all the best for your journey.